All right, okay, this is the right slide on OBS. Cool. Hi, everybody. Welcome, gamers. What's good, Tokyo Podfathers? We're back. Actually, no. Where the fuck is everybody? Where it's at the end of the month. We got to do seasonal impressions. I gotta pretend that I watch anime for weirdos on the internet. Where is everybody? Panic! 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 Where the fuck's Panic? Fuck! Who the hell are you guys?
They,
Oh, sorry, you were muted on OBS. Can you say that again?
I ask myself that every day. Good to be here, I guess. I'm Collapse Log. I don't know what that name means.
That's unfortunate, given that you're the one who gave yourself that name, I assume.
I actually didn't. It's an Xbox Live generated name.
Damn, the randomly generated Xbox Live account.
Exactly.
What is, how unfortunate. Also, who's the guy with the funny accent?
Yeah, I'm C5. Hello, everyone. I infiltrated the Discord a few months back, so a new face, but it'll be fun to be on this.
That is extremely rare. We have fans, especially fans from like not 2018 or so. Yeah, so this is the season impressions for summer 2023. I just like hired some people off the street to help me do this podcast, and so I put literally zero effort into preparing anything. So we don't even have a proper list of stuff to watch right now, which is mostly because there's just frankly not a whole lot of good stuff coming out, or at least like brand new stuff. It's a lot of sequels, so we're mostly going to emphasize that. But enjoy the absolute carnage that this stream is probably going to be, because we love having just streams that don't work on this channel.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. I feel like summer and winter are just like the sequel seasons, and you kind of scrap together what else you watch.
Yeah, so spring and fall are the seasons where the anime industry pretends that it's a good place to be, and it drops all the interesting stuff. And then winter and summer are the seasons of Spy Classroom.
Everyone's favorite show.
That's right. Spy Classroom is the best anime of all time. Hang on, let me pull up my Firefox so I can at least have some kind of visual, because we're going to talk about JJK first, because that's the thing that everybody wants to see first, right? I think.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
Yeah, everybody is talking about JJK right now, so that's going on. Yeah, I don't know. So, and I really needed some people to. I really needed at least anybody, just literally anybody, to help me with this podcast for this season, because I have to like confess something terrible about myself. I've spent like the last week just like getting high off THC and binge eating, and a lot of that was actually done while binge watching Jujutsu Kaisen. I watched like the entire second half of season 1 and also Zero. But also because I was stoned, I remember very little of it, including the 4 episodes of this season, which I have watched, and I'm just like, it's a flashback episode. I don't really need to know what's going on. So this is all to say that I've technically watched Jujutsu Kaisen, but I cannot really tell you much about this series. But people are really passionate about this series, and they don't want to hear such a terrible garbage point of view. So how do you guys feel about JJK?
Oh no, I'm in trouble.
Oh no! Were you also spending the last several days getting stoned and binge eating?
Thankfully, no. But I just with DJK, it's just a very popcorn anime for me. Like I like it a lot, but when it comes to plot or characters, like I don't really care at all about it. But it's just the characters are really charismatic and fun to follow. The fights are pretty great, and well, that's essentially it. It's just a very entertaining anime. But when it comes to this second season, I'm not liking it very much. Mainly because the main cast that I like a lot, mainly Novara and what was the name? Yuji? Was the MC? Yeah. I love their chemistry and all that. as well as Yui, seeing how he interacts with the more darker aspects of being a sorcerer fighter or Jujutsu fighter. I don't remember how its name. And yeah, that's like the main thing for me. And this season starts with a flashback arc with Goyo and the guy that will become the main villain of the series. Like Goyo is like fun, hot, whatever, but like this arc just is not it for me. It's kind of boring, TBH. Only saved by the fights in the last 2 episodes. And the girl is kind of cute, I guess.
It does have good character designs. That can always be counted up on with this series.
Yeah.
Good visuals in general. Although, do either of you know why there was some kind of like staff change this time around?
I haven't heard any.
I think the director who worked on season 1 has like his own studio or team now, so he's like working on his own stuff. So that's why I think.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see. Yeah, this new director has not directed anything, but he has been a part of lots of animation for big Sakuga shows like Mob. I think he was on the big Fate Apocrypha episode that had all the Sakuga. He's a big Sakuga animator, and I will say, like, I don't know if this season looks better than the first or not. It kind of has like some ups and downs where I feel like it's a little bit more ambitious with the directing, with like some really interesting backgrounds and camera work, but also sometimes it gets a little too ambitious maybe. Like I specifically remember episode 1 had this one moment where the girl's like walking back, like she sees something in this room and then she kind of like walks backwards and gets scared by it, and the way they animate it with the way they have the background set up and the way the camera angle works with this is like they just like put a full blur on her character model and it just looks terrible.
All right.
It was like really really weird how they did it, but that's just like a random nitpick. Otherwise
Yeah,
it looks fine.
Yeah, I remember someone making a joke of how do I turn the motion blur off.
Yeah, it was strange. I'm actually kind of with you though, Block. JJK is just fun popcorn anime. I have no strong feelings about it, for better or for worse. And I don't know if this is like a weird opinion in general or not. Maybe this is just a classic Mozilla Fennekin bad take, massive L. But I just kind of think I don't like flashback arcs in general. Like flashbacks themselves can be fine. Flashback episodes can be fine. But this whole season so far has been a flashback, and I'm just kind of like, all right, where are we going with this?
I mean, yeah,
can we get to the end and get back? And I'm like with you. I'm like, I kind of liked the main characters. Can we have them back, please?
Yeah, he also runs into one that you already kind of knows how it ends. The villain guy will become the villain. There's no stakes in Gojo's fights because you know he's alive.
Yeah, like I think 3 times Gojo has died this season, and it's like, motherfucker, he's in the show. He's not dead. Like, they keep hyping it up. Like, oh no, Gojo's dead. Oh, he suffered this fatal injury. It's like, all right, well, he's just gonna come back somehow. Kind of removes all tension.
I guess like
yeah, go ahead.
I guess the point is just that they wanted us to feel like, oh, what's up with Megumi's dad, and like, how did he beat Gojo, and what's he gonna do from here? So I feel like they're trying to make it about Gojo, but at the same time, everyone else in the season is like more interesting than Gojo at the same time. So it's a bit of like a weird balancing act where they know Gojo's a fan favorite, but like Geto and like Megumi's dad, Toji, I think his name is, are like the main focus of like you're thinking about what's going to actually happen to them.
Hi, interdimensional sleeper agent. Thanks for stopping by. I think I just kind of don't like Gojo in general, which might be another big L take from me. But I don't know, like,
for me, at least for me, it's just like, oh, he's so cool. But like, yeah, it doesn't go much beyond that.
He's amusing, but yeah, the show really plays into just like how cool and witty he is in a way that I'm just like not falling for at all. Like it's too much. Like every scene he has to be like funny or so.
No, I get it. Like I'm completely with you guys. Like I'm not a fan of flashback arcs, and I'm not like the biggest Gojo fan. This arc is kind of just like a Shibuya waiting room kind of thing, which is like the next big arc in the present.
Yeah, I have heard I've only heard the name of that arc, but yeah, people are like, that's the peak of JJK, so that's what they're going to adapt this season, eventually.
Yeah, unfortunately, we got like 2 recaps or something. Like, so we don't actually get the Shibuya arc until like August 31st or something. Don't like quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure we have to deal with a couple of recaps. Yeah.
Ooh, that does not sound good. All right, Mappa. We'll see how you're doing in a few months. Mappa up to their shenanigans as usual. It looks like a good production for a while. I don't know. That's about it, I think. It's fine. JJK, if this is what the kids are into these days, that's pretty cool. I don't have any strong feelings about it. Maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know. But there's nothing...
I'm kind of with you, I'll be honest. Like, I think for me, out of like the modern shonen, this one has the most potential. But at the same time, I'm not like too high on it. Like, I think it's good, but it's not something I'm gonna like jump out my seat for at the moment.
Yeah. It's on the... Well... I want to say it's on the same tier as Yaiba, but also it doesn't make me mad like Yaiba does sometimes. I don't cringe at it.
Yeah, just don't even get me started, man. Demon Slayer
no.
is just on its own level, I think, of just being that modern shonen the kids love, and I just can't get it at all.
Yeah. I mean, I can get it, but sometimes it's like, oh my god, why?
Yeah, it just feels like it's like insulting your intelligence when it really shouldn't be that deep, because it's just, you know, funny sword man hits hard.
And then I was trying to build off of that, but I have nothing. I was going to maybe make a joke about children and then transition it into Mushoku Tensei.
Oh god.
Mushoku Tensei! Let's go! My favorite anime. This is the season where I have taken so many W's. I have won in so many ways, and I'm also suffering greatly because several of my least favorite franchises of all time have resurrected themselves and converged into one season, which I feel like happened like a year or two ago as well. Like everything that I hate in anime just showed up in the summer season. Maybe that's what summer is, just a season where I die in real time. Block, what the hell is going on with Mushoku Tensei?
Oh my god, why does he have to care? I was actually about to ask, wait, I thought you weren't watching this. I'm like, oh, you passed the ball to me.
So I will take it from you immediately after giving it to you. I am not watching Mushoku Tensei anymore, not only because I absolutely despise this series, but also I've not necessarily like read ahead. I've read spoilers. I've read plot details as to what happens in like the rest of the series.
Yeah, I am also spoiled and like I get you.
I haven't been spoiled on it, but I do think this is like hyped up or something. I think I've heard that like there's big turning points in this that's hype. But I'll be honest, so far it's probably the worst the show has been in a long time. I just can't get over like how Rudy's in his like emo arc. He's like worshipping. I don't even want to get into it, to be honest.
Yeah. See, that's one of the things that made me not want to watch this series anymore, because I knew this was going to happen. He has a pair of Roxy's panties and fucking worships them. He has a fucking shrine built around her fucking panties.
Yeah, that's. I guess I can actually carry on with that. Well, the second season starts with a time skip of like I think 3 or 5 years. I don't remember. From the end of season 1, and like. So, season 1 ended with Ares leaving a really shittily written note, basically saying, sayonara, nerd, I'm leaving for now. But, like, he thinks that she hates her or something, so he's now all depressed and, like, hates literally everyone and who knows what else. Like, so he meets this party and, like... of course, like they try to cheer him up, and like he's a sad boy, but like, and then during a dungeon, like he proves that he's like overpowered his cool shit, and then he's trying to get more cheerful, and then very predictably, a girl that hated him wants his dick now, and he cannot get it off.
Yeah, he has erectile dysfunction.
It's the start of the ED arc.
Don't forget how the fact that he like names his muscles like different names while working out. Like he's fully just gone off a cliff, like mentally. The character is just going insane. And I'm just watching it like, how have you become more disappointing than season one? I don't get it.
Yeah, and like right now it's like one dude that punched him in the face is like now trying to cheer him up, and like during that time Rudy goes in this rant and like he starts talking shit about the woman in the party, and they hear him and kick him out of the party, only to roll salt on the wound, and like, oh my fucking god, this is so bad.
Literally, Rudius Takes L's the compilation right now. I did see in the chat though, someone mentioned episode 0. Episode 0 like focuses on Sylvie, and that's probably been the peak of the season so far. I'm kind of sad that we have to go back to Rudius.
I did not know there was an episode 0. Okay. Huh. I did not know this was a thing. I would believe you if it's good, if it's not about Rudy, because that's easily the worst part of the show. Yeah.
And like, so this is meant to be like, you know, the low point of the protagonist, where he can then pick himself back up. But like, yeah, I know the point is like Rudy becoming more, how do you say it, wallowing on his pain and, you know, suffering and all that shit. But like, there are many other ways to convey that isn't giving the protagonist erectile dysfunction or whatever other bullshit they have done so far.
Sorry for my super loud chair. Hang on. And also... Sorry, was responding to someone. They might show up. Urge Crusher, I know, we are all haters. You know what? Blame Panic for this. Panic should be here, because Panic always does impressions with us, and Panic loves Mushoku Tensei, so he would be the voice of reason, but instead he's busy being in fucking France.
Why damn France? I don't know if we can be friends anymore. You
Yeah.
can't go to France and just
act
act like that's normal.
Committing utterly heinous crimes by being in France. So that's why we do not have someone who actually appreciates the mastery that is Mushoku Tensei. In this,
yeah, I mean, I didn't mind season 1. I thought it was pretty good in aspects. Actually, I think the world building and the fact that they made like a language for the show is really cool. And obviously, the production is what everyone talks about, and that's amazing. But I just think that the author's like desire to put in like his weird, I don't know, he just has some weird things he enjoys, and he puts it into the story, and it throws everyone off. And I can't really blame anyone for not liking the show because of it.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to really want to appreciate the world building and everything else if you just can't get past the first obstacle, which is just Rudius and like his weird obsessions, which doesn't need to be as big of a factor in the show as it is, in my opinion.
Which is that's exactly how I feel, like to a T. And I always say, if they ever just make the Roxy spinoff into an anime, I will watch that, because that will be Kino. That will be like the best show ever.
Yeah, literally the best character deserves the spin-off.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I agree.
I also this was another show that apparently had like a big staff change. I don't know.
Yeah, so
the
situation is that Studio Vine, like, you know how the fans always say, oh, Studio Vine was specifically created to do Mushoku Tensei, and like who knows what else.
Right.
But like at the end of the day, it's just a studio, and studios always get new works all the time. And like, for example, one of those works was Onimai 2 seasons ago, which had several staff from Mushoku Tensei. And like, also, I think it's next season there's a new entry of Idol Master that also has a lot of staff from Mushoku Tensei. So essentially those two shows are poaching staff from Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah, just
and
looked
like,
it up. The director of season 1 is on that Idol Master show, not on this one at all.
At least compared to the average seasonal, it still looks pretty good. And like, there has been some six sequences in these episodes, but at least everyone else that is more knowledgeable of you know, like the industry, and like they won't be able to keep up with it.
Whoops.
Yeah, I mean, from a production standpoint of view and a directing standpoint of view, I don't think this season is a big downgrade at all. So I can give it credit there that they did a good job with the new staff so far. I think it's just the writing. Like that's literally it. That's the only thing that's irritating me at the minute. Everything else is fine,
Yeah.
I would
Well,
say.
that's never changing.
Also, the irony is that the two shows that poach from the Mushoku Tensei staff are anime with lollies. What a coincidence.
Yay!
Amazing fun fact for everyone.
I will say, Idolmaster U149 is not sus at Realist. That one was pretty good, actually.
Oh, cool. There's going to be a part 2 of this. It's another split core. Yay! So there's going to be more in April next season. That's not really... Huh. Interesting. Great. It'll just never end. I love this series. So we'll revisit this we'll revisit this next spring. Hopefully Panic will survive his trip and be back for that.
I have heard that they are actually doing a pretty good phase at adapting it. Like, I think they are already at like one. Well, by the time this season ends, I heard it will be like 1/3 of the source material or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
like
think I have
Isekai
heard
standards,
that. I cannot. I don't have hard evidence about it.
for Isekai standards, this one will actually finish, I think, which is quite surprising because most Isekai are like, oh, you've seen 3 seasons? Oh, well, that's about 5 volumes, sorry.
Wait, how long is this? Also, hi, Jakers. Jakers just showed up. Jakers is like out fishing or something, but I told him he can come out anyway. Oh my god, 26 volumes. Oh, fuck.
Light novels for Mushoku Tensei.
Yes.
Oh my god. And here I thought it was going to at least like go through and have the stretch to see how many seasons they could actually go through and finish. But if we're talking 26 volumes, it sounds like a lot of content.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's why they had to make a whole ass studio for it, because they were gonna adapt everything. We'll see you in 7 years or so when it's finally over. Maybe then I'll catch up to it.
It's still at a better pace than Konosuba, I think, because I think with the
Yeah.
movie, Konosuba was only like 5 volumes or in out of like 16 or something.
Yeah, Konosuba adapted 2 volumes per season, and it's like 20 volumes total.
Yeah, that's a lot.
See, that's a show I do want to continue on forever, though. So that's great. But yeah. All right. Hopefully, okay. I hope this is an anime that we can actually talk about positively. Let's stop hating stuff and let's talk about the zombie show, Zom 100: Bucket List of the Dead. Also, not a sequel this time around. Maybe there's a correlation there.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
was gonna say, has anyone actually watched today's episode? Because I did watch the rest, but I haven't seen today's.
No, I actually forgot.
not today. No.
Oh fuck! That's 4 episodes. I've only seen 2. Damn it.
Yeah, I've seen 3.
Yeah, also.
And then yeah. And then also I am on the water, so I do apologize if my audio texture is a little shaky. If it ever like gets into anywhere in the bad levels, I'll just go through and like reduce it a bit.
Are you in the bat?
Oh no, I'm near the water. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, are you in the bat? Like, oh my god, that's pretty face.
Frankly, you just sound like you're calling into a radio show, so you're good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too
Okay,
bad.
so the texture is not horrible. Okay, yeah, I remember it. I was on the on the water, not necessarily as small as a bath, but it definitely felt like it at points. Oh boy, it's been really nice when you're in the middle of nowhere in the summer. Through the rest of it, a lot of the lakes will go through and feel like a bath because it's been given ample time to warm up, and it's been pretty beautiful the last week or so.
That sounds awesome. Sounds awesome.
It is in the middle of nowhere, but in terms of, for the zombie show, it definitely didn't start out as a happy-go-lucky. Not a lot of people were going through, especially the guys who used to work at OLM. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so this is
Those guys.
This is an interesting thing that happened. OLM is a studio that I've talked about a lot on the show because they've always been a studio I've really appreciated because they usually just did kids shows, and more specifically they did like Pokemon. And then for some reason in like 2021, they just randomly decided they're going to do seasonal late night TV anime now. So they just dropped Odd Taxi, like best original anime of the frickin' decade, just out of nowhere. And then they did Komi-san, they did the adaptation for that long-awaited thing. and just some other random stuff. Like they picked up Isekai Restaurant for some reason. They picked up Nagatoro for some reason. They did Summertime Render. I mean, they they had some random franchise kind of stuff, but otherwise they were just collecting bangers one after another, and all of their shows just looked absolutely fantastic. And I think that's still continuing because they're doing Dark Gathering this season, which we might talk about a little bit. But rather before I say the but. I've always generally heard it's a pretty well-run studio, at least for a while. Like back when Pokemon Sun and Moon was coming out, people were saying oh, they can have such great animation for this show every single week because it's just such a well-run studio. It's just a well-run company. But I don't know. Maybe things have changed because Pokemon didn't end, but it ended with Ash, and towards the end of last year when they were getting towards that, there was lots of not great stuff coming out of the studio. People were long-time staff of the Pokemon anime were just yeah, we have literally no idea what's happening with the franchise anymore. We have zero plans. It's just okay, that's unusual. And also, this anime, Zom 100, is made by a bunch of ex-OLM staff. They just broke off. It's like the director of Komi-san. They broke off, and it might say something that their first anime is about working for a black company. You just kind of wonder, is there a little commentary going on with this show? I don't know. But
yeah, it could be a weird coincidence, or it could be they put their heart and soul into showing how soul-destroying working for them was.
Yeah, who knows? But in any case, it does look fantastic, so that's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was quite cinematic how they direct this, actually. So that's cool. Because it kind of reminds me of Chainsaw Man in a weird way, with how cinematic everything is.
Yeah, they did have
bars.
Yeah, widescreen aspect ratio.
Bars, the aspect ratio, the colors slowly but surely. Yeah, just the colors seeping out of his world one by one to just not have the opportunity and not have the general idea to just keep going and keep living, because essentially it's just, well, I do have to get back up and I do have to work again. Can I please just not fucking go into work tomorrow for the love of God? And that's just going to consistently roll in for, 3 to 4 years?
Yeah.
He was not having a good time.
Yeah, so it's just an anime about a guy who's just fresh out of school, and he's and he gets a nice ordinary office job, and he's having a good time. He settles in nicely. Then he goes out for drinks with the coworkers, with all the bros afterwards, and it's all right, cool, this is going to be so much fun. And then all of his coworkers stand up and they're all right, it's time to go back to work. And then that's when he realizes that his entire life just becomes work from that point on, because it's just a piece of shit company where he's just constantly working, constantly behind on work, constantly getting yelled at for being behind on work. The boss is fucking the girl that he likes behind the scenes, even though everybody knows about it. It's just a wonderful time, a wonderful window into Japanese society. However, he is saved by the zombie apocalypse. That just sort of happens. Everyone dies, and he's all right, let's go! I don't gotta work today! Woo! And then he's just decided that he's going to enjoy life from now on. Really inspiring stuff.
I mean, I can't blame him. I'd probably rather hang out with zombies than be a zombie myself.
Exactly. Ooh, that's a great parallel, though. He was a zombie, and then zombie apocalypse, now he's not a zombie. Damn. Banger.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, it was great to see the majority of his life come back into color through the rest of it, because it was a really good set, and like you said before, a really good cinematic set parallel to Chainsaw Man, to the point where it was just all right, slowly seeing the color get removed frame by frame, minute by minute, the bars closing in the aspect ratio, not only on just the display itself, but also his life, and through the rest of it, when he finally realized, it's wait a second, everybody's a zombie. Wait a second, my boss is in line. Wait a second, all the transit's down. I don't have to go to work tomorrow, and continuously goes through to the point where it's built to a fever pitch that he just, I think he headbutts or he just stretches the aspect ratio away from the screen, and his entire world just bursts back into color. And it was just a really good like build up and payoff through the rest of that to see this like, all right, phenomenal. My life is back into place. Might be the apocalypse, but it doesn't mean I can't have a good time.
Exactly. I do want to say this is going to be some deep Mozilla Fennekin lore right here, because this anime actually resonates with me deeply in a very unusual way, perhaps. But I really appreciate it because I have like romantic dreams about having grown up in Japan. Like, I wish I had grown up in Japan, rather, because I am a failed product of American suburbia. I have spent my entire life moving around houses in places where the median age was like 57. There were more parking lots and gas stations than playgrounds and other public places where people could hang out, or rather, kids could hang out. Children could hang out. There were no children in sight in these little areas, but, oh, I was told to go outside and go play. Alright, let me just, I don't know, fucking walk around for a few hours, because that's the only thing I can do. And then, of course, public schools in America, they suck, so I can't go to those. I gotta go to the special private schools, where we've got like 10 kids per class. And except all of those 10 kids think the exact same thing. And they don't think the same things as me. They don't like the same things as me. So I'm just ostracized. And I'm just nobody. I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I have nothing. I developed no social skills, or really any skills of any kind, throughout my entire life, because I've just been simply isolated and quarantined from the entire rest of the world. And so when I see an anime in high school, I just kind of wish I had something like that. I wish I lived in a world that felt more organized. I see schools with, you know, all these kids, and they've got like so many different things going on, like all these different clubs that you can join. Just like whatever you want to do, all right, there's a club for it. There are a bunch of people like-minded who you can hang out with in this place. In
Festivals, competitions, yeah, that you can organize like around and get everybody into the swing of things and like have that sense of camaraderie.
There is so much stuff you can do in a school that it's like you practically live in school. And it's easy because your house is just right there. You just walk a mile or two right home, and everything is just nice. And I wish I had that growing up. And I wish that I could just simply funnel that life into an ordinary office job in the big city. I just take my regular 9 to 5, and then I clock out. I get some takoyaki in a street, in a little stall down the street, and then I go home in my comfy little apartment, and that's just it. I wish I had that sometimes. Except there's someone who's like Walter White knocking on the car window screaming, "Hike! Hike!" And that's this show saying that life is not all it's cracked up to be. That office job, that quiet little ordinary day job that you're thinking about, is actually a total hellhole, because Japanese society actually has so many issues with work culture and exploitation. And I myself have actually suffered some of the issues present in this show. The overwork, the stress, that feeling of, oh, well, I can't go home unless I do all of my work, because if I don't do all of my work, then that's work for someone else, and it's also more work for me, and it's just not going to get done, and everything's just going to be all messed up, and it's going to be worse. I have fallen into that trap. Obviously not as severely, and I've managed to get myself out of it, fortunately, because I eventually learned how valuable my work actually is. But still, like, I look at this show and I think, man, that could have been me, in so many good ways and so many bad ways as well. Maybe it gives me a moment to reflect on my life and think, maybe it wasn't all that bad, and I did okay for myself, because I didn't turn into that. I'm not relying on the zombie apocalypse to save me. Although, I would be very amused if it happened.
Yeah, I think
good timing. It's like,
oh, sorry, you can
yep,
continue.
go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think the show will give like people an appreciation for how Japan actually works, because a lot of the shows you watch in anime, you see them come home, you see them go out and drink with their like co-workers, and then you just go back on to like whatever genre the show was. So like if it's like a battle shonen, they'll come home from work and then they'll fight the enemies, and like you'll see the I guess what's the term, like the escapism side, right, more than the actual side. And this show is like one of those shows that looks like very colorful and like very bright and very happy, but the start is not that, and then it will have like very like somber moments within the happiness, even after the zombie apocalypse, which I really appreciated because I didn't actually expect it to have any sort of like darker or somber tones. But even after the first step, they do like continue to show like what the reality was for people, and that just because the zombie apocalypse has happened, people's lives aren't just like reset completely, right? Like the things that have happened to them still affect them to this day, like his best friend that he talks about in the most recent episode.
Tragic.
There's more. Yeah, it definitely goes through where it's just it is the apocalypse. It is close to the end of humanity, but then at that point, through the rest of it, if everything is set in stone and you're going to be lining up for the rest of it, and you always have these regrets, especially when you're in that very one-track mindset, especially when you're like held basically against your will to the rest of it, because that's also like you said about Japanese society to the rest of it. It's like, oh yeah, no, everybody was telling you, it's like, man, you fucking hate this job, quit this job. Like, what are you doing here? Where it's to top it all off, where it's just, yes, I understand, but I need this job for references. I need to stick around so I can get connections. I need at least something to go through. And if you're telling me that the first company I worked for, basically, I quit them and they're just going to set me on a path of, say, blacklisting through the rest of it, where it's just kind of like, okay, well, then why did you leave this job? Did you not necessarily have the best lines or in tune and work relations and connections with the people that you had, so you left? So does that mean you're the problem, or is that going to be something that's more in tune with the company? But we're not going to be focusing on the company.
No.
We don't want to get into them. Which is how he was feeling. Incredibly trapped, very claustrophobic, nothing that he could do to try and get out in the rest of it. But yeah, it was kind of unfortunate in that way that there's not necessarily much he could have done.
Yeah, just sucks. And yeah, like you said, C5, you usually just see that escapist side of anime. Like anime will often comment on it, but that's all it will do. Like, there are so many isekai that start off with, oh, I was just an ordinary guy who worked for a total piece of shit company, and then I got overworked and literally died because of it. And that's just, it's like 5 seconds. And it's like, okay, good for you, I guess. This gives you like a full picture of it, and it's shocking when you actually get such exposure to it. I know we're only talking about like the first episode mostly, but I just really liked this. I really liked the first episode.
Yeah, I was actually going to add. I have been losing a bit of the hype, mainly because I just don't think the characters so far are very interesting. Like, of course, episode 1 was like fuck yeah, I hate capitalism, whatever, Omega based. But like, I need a bit more, depth for it to carry around all the core. And like the last episode with his friends was not very good either.
Yeah,
I don't know how next one will fare.
Yeah, I do.
But like you guys say, I kinda appreciate the whole "you only live once," whatever. Let's do whatever we want, live freely. The side of the story.
Yeah, I do.
No regrets in that sense.
Yeah, I do want to. I do wonder how this will continue for full core, and it'll go on for longer than that because it's a manga adaptation, a manga that's still going, I believe. Yeah, well, it's been going on for a few years actually. So.
I'm trying to remember. It was either like 2017 or 2018, I think.
2018
when it started. But
when it started.
Yeah, because it hasn't been a weekly publication. It has been
monthly.
I think there have been a monthly set, so it's still been going on for a bit of time, but there's more than enough content that they should be comfortable with adapting.
I do think the show is kind of in the phase of like he finds the survivors and it's like collecting the cast. So I think after like how big the tone change is going to be from episode 1, they have to like give the show a bit of time to get the cast together, and then we'll get to see like, does the zombie apocalypse side actually have the same kind of appeal or like engagement that the first episode gave. So for me, I'm just giving them a bit of time to see like what the cast is actually like, because we've only met like a few of the characters that I think we saw in the intro. So I kind of want to see what the show will end up becoming once we have like a general idea of what the cast is like.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's sort of a phase of any series of where it's just meeting new characters like every episode. That's usually like the lowest point of the series, like the slowest and most boring part. So hopefully it picks up after they get the gang together.
Yeah, get the cast set up, get the dynamic going. From what I remember, they have a good, charming bit of banter, a bit of back and forth to kind of like see where it's all just they're dynamic in their own ways, but it all depends on like how much energy they're going to be able to get in with the rest of it, with the cast and through the rest of it. Because one of the I don't know if they're introduced in episode 4 or not, considering that I haven't like watched today's episode, but through the rest of it, I believe that'll be the full setup, and then we'll be able to go be on our way and see what kind of adventures lay await. But yeah, that is definitely the mainstay, especially when you've got a colorful cast like this, where it's just okay. So, how do they stack with each other? How do they like trade blows, go back and forth?
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully it's as good as I remember it being, and the charm can still be felt even when brought into an anime adaptation.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I think that's going to do it for that one. So let's get into Horimiya filler arc.
The in-betweens.
Horimiya. So a funny thing about Horimiya is that it started as a webcomic in the 2000s and then was later redone as a manga in early like 2011, I believe. And it went on for an extremely long time. It was a super famous manga, but it never got adapted into anime until finally in 2021 they did that, and it kind of coincided with the manga finally ending. But a very common criticism of the manga is that like Horimiya was super famous. It was a super popular manga. A lot of people loved it. It's like a rom-com staple. However, everyone would say that after like a couple of years it just kind of like fell off and just became like whatever. Like the story reached a climax and then it went on to go focus on like every other character in the cast, and then it just kind of did that for an extremely long time. So when the anime adaptation finally happened, they basically just adapted the main story, and all of that stuff about the other characters was completely cut out, which was a ton of content. Because I remember seeing some people because I was like, people would say like, oh yeah, Horimiya, the adaptation cut out like 10 volumes worth of stuff, and of course people would be mad about that, like, oh, they cut out so much, it's such a terrible adaptation. It's like, no, they cut out the stuff that had nothing to do with the two main characters. That's it. So that extra stuff, now this is what they're adapting. That's just what it is.
Because in between the rest of it, it was because for the titular like main duo, like between Hori and Miyamura, they did have a really good dynamic and were honestly one of the better couples that we've seen through the rest of it. But then if you have a cast that large in the rest of it, which already has a little bit of like a little bit of different group of dynamics in between, it's kind of like hard to juggle the rest of that. And then seeing how it was just, okay, so how many chapters can we jump forward before we get to the final one? Like, what was it, about at least 80 or 90, to the point that we can just finish it off to the point of graduation? It's like, oh yeah, no, sure, let's just jump into that. So that was kind of the toughest point that they had to make through, where it's just, we have to give these side characters some exposure to at least keep them a part of the group. But unfortunately, because they're great as a group, but individually and separated into their own pairs and their own romantic dynamics, it was just, not as good as the main couple, for better or worse.
Yeah. I really like the strategy of adapting it, though. I'm glad that they just kind of had the main stuff in one place, and then afterwards it's like, okay, we'll do all the random side pieces. Literally, it's called Horimiya piece. Or missing pieces. That's about it. I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure it will be fine. I doubt I'll have any strong feelings about it. But that's about it.
I haven't seen the main show either, but I was just gonna say, have you guys seen the doc of like someone trying to put together like how you could watch it in manga order, and it looks so funny to me. But you have to go to like 9 minutes 40 seconds. Skip to this part of the other episode from season 1.
That sounds big-brained as hell. I would love to see that.
I'll try to find it quickly.
It's probably on like the Horimiya subreddit. But that's awesome. I actually love that someone would do that. I also did not know that Horimiya actually had an OVA. I thought it was just like a commercial that they did. Let me see this.
Yeah, because they had like a
Oh,
intro, maybe?
a 6-episode OVA started in 2012, ended in 2021.
Okay, I found it. I'll put it in the chat.
All right, let's get this. Everything Horimiya. All right. Oh my god, this is actually a lot of stuff. Holy shit, this is in depth. What? What am I looking at? I love this. Whoever made this is a very big fan. Maybe it's Hero who did this. I don't know.
Look at the gaps of volumes in the Horimiya piece, like
What?
the gaps between volumes in Horimiya piece, like it jumps from volume 1 to volume 7. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
it did seem like a lot of the chapters were slipshod and out of order, which is why you can still fit pieces. They could probably like do 2 or 3 seasons of pieces, it sounds like, but they've just got so much content.
Yeah, it'll be like Naruto, where the filler just eventually outweighs the main story. But no, that's cool.
Yeah, like this show, well, this spin-off is like just a fluff. Like the story's done, so this is just like a more mundane rom-com. Like it's just for the lulz. You won't see any drama or anything. So it is pretty nice. It's pretty fun. If you like the humor of Horimiya, of course you will like this one. If you didn't like the drama, which I know several people that didn't, they are really enjoying the spin-off because it's like just the comedy.
Oh, that actually does sound much more fun.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
and like it's also episodic. Like we had someone miss an episode and they just jumped right to the next one, and he didn't miss anything because like it doesn't matter.
Nice.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, it's been nice. It's been charming to see the group come back into it. Where it's not that I just don't like the characters. It's just that their specific relationships don't really match up to the main duo. So whenever in the original season they tried to just sidetrack into where it's just kind of like, okay, well, this is how they're going to develop and the rest of it, but we can't really give them enough time to go through. It definitely seems like the injected drama didn't necessarily hit too well for the rest of it. So now, for the moment, they're mostly just in the pieces, just sticking to the majority of the main cast and the main duo and seeing how, the funny events that can just surround a relationship. So, because I still enjoy the cast, and whenever they're just hanging out and just fucking around as friends, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, no, this is really good. I like their dynamic. They're really charming.
Really makes you
So
feel
at that point,
like
it's been a good
having
time.
friends. We love to see it.
Can confirm.
So yeah, I'm glad it exists, but something that I am not glad exists at all. There's a second season of Masamune-kun's fucking Revenge for some reason. Does anyone know what this series is?
I mean, I know what it is, sadly, but I can't say I've watched it.
No, I know the synopsis, and that's about it.
So
And apparently, the first season ended on like a ridiculous cliffhanger, which is just kind of like, are you kidding me? Like, is this going to be the conflict going forward?
This anime is about it's a rom-com between a guy and a girl. They were childhood friends. They were seemingly childhood besties. However, the main character was a little bit chubby, and the girl took some kind of exception to that. She called him fat or something. She's like, go away, little fat idiot. And so that stuck with him for the entire rest of his life. So he goes into high school. He gets into the same school as this chick, where she is the she is the baddest bitch of the whole school. Everyone wants to date her. Everyone wants to go out with her. All the girls look up to her. She is just super popular. She is her. She is the queen. And so he goes into this school and he's like, all right, I am going to make this girl fall in love with me, and then I am going to absolutely humiliate her in the worst possible way in front of everyone. I am going to tear this girl to pieces for what she did to me. And he's completely unrecognizable. He transformed his life. He became a big, burly, muscly Chad. He became the guy. So he is going to get back at her in the best way possible. That is going to be his revenge. And I'll tell you what happens in this show. Anything but that. The show ends on nothing. Nothing happens by the end. He does not get revenge. He does not even really make any progress toward revenge. And the show, like, rewrites itself several times by introducing some other characters who are interested in the girl, making it so that actually she didn't hate him as a child. She actually thought he was kind of adorable, but is tsundere about it, and all kinds of other fucking nonsense. If you want more information, please go to myanimelist.net, go look at Masamune-kun's Revenge, and then read the top review by the gentleman named Mozilla Fennegan. And
Wait,
he'll explain,
yours is the top review?
he will, and this review will explain everything that is wrong with Masamune-kun's Revenge. It also has a funny little excerpt that I am going to just, read for a second. So, Masamune-kun has, spoilers, by the way, for the ending of Masamune-kun Season 1, if anyone cares. Masamune-kun has neither a good build-up nor the ending it promises. In fact, it has no ending at all. The final episode is a fucking karaoke party. Why the fuck did they even make this? I feel like a complete idiot for subjugating myself to watching every minute of this mumbo-jumbo, which was admittedly okay and not offensive for several episodes, but after a while it feels like even the writer didn't know how this revenge was going to work, so they started making excuses for some weeks or years or however long you've been experiencing the series. Oh god, could you imagine a second season of this? 2023, 6 years later, Masamune-kun fucking Revenge has a second season. Who asked for this? It's been 6 years. Like, that's the thing. If this show came out in, 2019, I would have complained, but I wouldn't have questioned it. I'd just be like, okay, it was a popular series. I get it. Popular series, they get sequels. But not 6 years later. Everyone forgot about this series, and then they just dug it up from the from underground, just robbed its grave, and were like, it's time for the Masamune-kun's Revenge revival. Masamune-kun's Revenge will get its revenge on me for writing a piece of shit review on a website that no one cares about.
Look, man, the social commentary on Revenge from Vinland Saga was not enough. We needed more. This is what we needed.
Yeah, we learned nothing from Vinland Saga. So, that's my dilemma. That is Masamune-kun's Revenge, Season 2. It's back, and you want to know something even more horrifying? It's bad enough that this season exists, but you know what else is going on? It takes place in fucking France! Why is everything in France today? Or this season? This is all fucking...
What the fuck is
fault.
that it has a girl with a knife edge?
She's French. She's the French girl. She's a new character this season. She's French, and she's just stupid and annoying. I don't know. I probably should know because I'm the expert of this series.
Discount French Rika, I guess. We're just going to be having our Chunibyos already heading over because, what was it? The Take on Me movie. Did they fly to France or did they just stay inside of Japan?
No, they stayed inside Japan. It was a road trip throughout France. They go to Tamako Market in Take on Me.
Nice.
Yeah. Take on Me is actually like legit a crossover with a bunch of KyoAni series. It's adorable. Everybody should love Chunibyo. It's the best series ever.
No.
Okay.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it someday.
It's really good. So yeah, the worst franchise ever is it's back. The funniest thing also is that this manga is still technically going. By the way, this manga never ended.
It's
Like-
actually insane.
Like, I have no idea how it has gone on for this long. It's been going on for like 12 years now. It's like it's about one specific thing with there's a very specific end goal. Why it hasn't been accomplished yet, no one knows. I don't understand. And I wish it nothing but death. But fortunately, I would be rewarded with something else. The greatest anime studio of all time is back.
Oh, yep, here it is.
The girl I like
Here it goes.
forgot her glasses. Animated by Studio Goat Hands.
Oh boy.
I already had a 40-minute presentation of the history of Gohans, and I slipped in some opinions of this show, so I won't comment further. Just go watch that episode. It's something I'm very proud of, by the way. I was really passionate about this. It's just me rambling about the weird stuff that Gohans have done throughout the last 10 years. Seriously, if you don't know, if you think Gohan's anime look weird, just wait until you see how this studio operates. They are one of one. So check out that episode. Everyone else, what do you think about the glasses show?
Well, aside from goat hands visuals, it's actually a pretty average rom-com. Look, I hate the MC so much. He's fucking coming his fans at literally everything that the girl does. Oh my god, she's so cute. Every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This guy needs to get laid.
Just so annoying. I don't know, man. A different voice actor at least. But it's just so annoying to hear him just squeak at literally everything.
It pops up on the manga subreddit every now and again, and that's about all I can go for. I think I read a couple of the chapters when it was coming out recently, but now Gohan's made me look its way just for a brief moment. But I don't know. I don't think I can invest into it to the point where it's just kind of do I? I don't know.
How can anybody read the manga at this point when the anime is clearly just so much better in every way conceivable? But yeah, I really am interested in why this series is popular because, like you said, Block, the main guy is so irritating to watch.
I mean, it would definitely be better if in manga because you don't have to hear his voice.
I suppose that's fair. But also the girl just has no personality.
That's kind of true, yeah.
What is the appeal of her? Is it really just does the fetish carry this show that hard? The glasses fetish, even though she doesn't wear her glasses, so the fetish is pointless.
Look, man, it's like the Velma from Scooby-Doo syndrome that people have got, I guess.
Oh.
That's what carries it.
Oh shit! So she is exactly as hot as Velma. Okay. Never mind. I take back what I just said.
Apparently so. It's top 1,650 popularity. That has to be carrying something.
Yeah. I have no idea how many anime exist, but I mean it's pretty popular this season. It's the 8th most popular this season if you include Goblin Slayer 2, which technically is not this season. My anime this is just stupid.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on with that because I was looking at the chart and I was like, Eminence in the Shadow Season 2 is not this season. Why is it marked as 1st of July? You
know what? It might as well be if everything else that I hate is going to come back this season. The reason why is because my anime list, they will include... it's because stuff that gets premiered at conventions and stuff, it will just go into that
counts.
Season.
Yeah,
so that people can mark it on their list. It's a really dumb loophole, but whatever.
Well, 8th most popular. That's the Gohan's effect for sure.
Okay, Interdimensional Sleeper Agent. The chapters are so short you don't notice that it hardly has any substance. Okay, that I guess makes sense. It's like the Koito Uso of this generation. It's just really bad, but it's so short that no one actually notices. They just get like 2 pages a week, and it's like, okay, cool, that was whatever. I will check back in later.
Honestly, that's how I feel about most of the stuff I see posted on the manga subreddit. I'm like, this is so short and like nothing's happening. Why has this got like 3,000 upvotes?
Yeah. People are just bored. They just want their little daily content. The Gohan's visual direction is the most interesting aspect or the only interesting aspect of the show. Completely agreed.
I mean, it has also toned it down a lot. Like the last episode, that it definitely felt like just a normal episode of anime with.
Yeah, that's typical Gohans. Gohans will dump every bit of their animation team, like every trick in the book that they have. They'll just put the entire playbook into one episode, usually the first 5 minutes, and then the rest of the show will just be like, it's whatever. It's hilarious. Gohan's is just so funny.
Oh, it's just been ages, yeah. Ironically enough, what was it? The K Project was probably one of the first shows I ever watched seasonally, and now it's just looped all the way back to a lot of short form stuff here. It's just kind of like, well, it's definitely been a journey for sure.
Yeah. Shout out K Project. All right, well, that's something dropped. That's it for now. This next one I was supposed to watch, and I should have watched it, but I did not watch it. I have not watched it yet because I am a fraud. It has an 8.33 on my anime list, though. It is My Happy Marriage. Have any of you guys seen it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is the deal with this?
So, wait a second. So it is like a Cinderella-esque type story where you have a girl that is abused by literally everyone, and then she has an arranged marriage because feudal Japan bullshit. Like she's arranged to marry some dude that is famous for being very aggressive towards his fiancés. But like you know how it is with this type of shoujo stories. She is special and unique and built different,
For real.
That's kinda what the sorry. I mean, I may this may sound negative, but it is actually like decent. Like I just like the old tone, because it is a yosei, they are not made a lot these days, so it is kind of a breath of fresh air by itself. So like the first episode, I didn't like it a lot because again, it's like Cinderella light. Like it's just her family being bitches towards her. Everyone hates her. She's depressed all the time. But like, well, it is about how also the guy also has his own baggage of issues. Like well, I actually don't remember very well, but like in the second episode, like he was paranoid that the woman was trying to poison him. So it's like maybe he has some dark shit going around. So it is like he tries to bring up the best of her and her the best of him. So it is like one of those dual relationships where they both improve over time. So it's not like a wish fulfillment fantasy or anything. It's just I just say.
It sounds like gender bent Taisho Otome fairy tale.
Well, not really, because the woman is still the one being arranged marriage.
I mean, it sounds close enough.
Oh yeah. Actually, yes, that sounds pretty close. But I didn't like Taisho Otome very much. This one is like 100% dramatic. Like if dramas are not your thing, I do not recommend.
I fucking hate it when people love each other. Disgusting.
So I will say, so far, I'm actually surprised at how popular it is. It is like top 5 in the subreddit, and like this is a yosei again. This is not something that the subreddit usually consumes.
Well, we don't trust our anime anymore. They just said Kurumi from Data Life is the best it
Feels
girl
bad.
of all time. Wait, Evan Call soundtrack. Let's go. This is the best anime this season.
So yeah, it has been pretty decent. My only grievances is how cartoonishly evil her family is. Like maybe how it goes hard on her being special and whatever. But like, it's still pretty decent. I will definitely take over any romance with male protagonists.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. It sounds all right. I would say my hope for this would be like how I wished Taisho Otome Fairy Tail would be, which is like, if it's just like a story that wraps up in one core, I'd probably love it a lot. Although I doubt it would be.
Also, the source material is actually a normal novel, not a
Oh
LA.
yeah, you're right. It's a novel. Interesting.
So that's how you know it's not cringe, at very least.
We love to see it. Yeah, fuck manga. And fuck light novels, too. It's not even a light novel. It's just a regular novel. For adults. Read a
So much.
Who
book.
reads those? Unbelievable.
Okay, does anybody have anything to say about Rag? The third Rag?
I watched the first episode with a friend, and it's basically the same thing as you would expect. It's like
What?
Kazuya looking at Chizuru, and he's
I would
like,
never expect that.
he's going on his like tangent in his head about how perfect she is, and that kind of thing. Apparently, this is the best arc, though, according to manga readers. I don't know what kind of quality that.
I don't
Like,
trust
means
manga
that-
readers.
Yeah, who the
No, what I mean.
What is the best
I-
arc of Rent a Girlfriend?
They should be in an asylum for reading Rent a Girlfriend this far.
I think this arc was before it became like a massive meme. I guess is the best way to put it. Like the best
Yeah.
promise. Like that's like the best like positive I can say about it. Like this arc wasn't a massive meme because of how terrible it is.
Wait, is it the bone? It will have the boner chapter.
Yeah, I was
Is it
gonna
the-
ask. The pool boner.
I will
no, this
watch
is-
that one episode, and that will be it.
This
Once
isn't
they
that
finally
arc. This
adapt
is,
that one page, I will jump back in wholeheartedly.
This is the like basically the plot is he's making like a movie for Chizuru because Chizuru's grandma is like on the verge of death basically, and that was
She
her
has
like
been on the
dream.
verge of death 3 seasons.
Yeah, exactly. But the point is, she's really close now.
This
I guess
bitch
but it
just
was-
fucking die already.
Yeah. No, but basically the point is he's trying to make a film for Chizuru so she can like achieve her dream or whatever. And apparently this is like the best arc or something. I don't know, but it could be good, but I doubt it will be because it's this show. So
Yeah, you do kind of have there is a point to be brought up with that, which is that I do distinctly remember Rent a Girlfriend being a series that was fairly well respected by the general public.
Was it?
I do remember this, and then specifically when the pool boner chapter dropped, everyone like turned on it. Like every single person was like, it wasn't even like it was just. Well, okay, it was both when the anime came out and then the pool boner. Like when the pool boner episode, no, when the scene came out, when that chapter came out. Sorry, fuck. I saw lots of people expressing this sentiment that the series had turned bad. Like it was good at one point, but now it's bad.
yeah, this is like the good at one point part that they're talking about this arc. So I'll probably give it a bit of a watch and like give it the hate watch, the good old hate watch, and see if it can like do anything different at all. There's a new character in this. She seems okay. She's basically his neighbor that for some reason we never
this girl
see
with the-
before.
Oh, this. What the fuck is in her head? What is this design? This
Yeah,
is not
she's got like
okay.
blue highlights, I guess, in her hair. But I don't
You
understand
don't
why we
trash
haven't
cap
seen
for
it.
these thanks.
She looks irritating. I don't like her at all. She calls
The only-
Kazuya Kinoshita her master. Oh my god, no.
The only thing I have heard of this season is that apparently Chizuru's boobs are growing bigger every season as it goes on.
Let's go.
Oh,
But
no,
the
it's
worst part
origin
about this
effect.
character, is they're a gacha addict. That tells you everything.
Oh my
about them.
god, it gets even worse. Fuck.
He was already. Our expectations for her were already on the floor, but you just had to dig deeper.
She was already a 0, then she went into the negatives somehow. Oh man. That's a good old Kino Kari for you right there. Season 3, we love it.
I don't really see the point of this character, to be honest. Like, the cast is already big enough, and Mami is literally just there to talk shit every so often, and
God, I
that's it.
fucking
Like,
love
you know what I
Mami.
mean?
I wish the
Like-
show was about her. She's the only character with a spine in this series.
It would probably be more entertaining.
It would be
I kind of
extremely
hate how
entertaining.
she
I actually
acts, but
genuinely
still.
really thought that character was fun because she was so terrible.
But yeah, I don't have much closing thoughts on it. I just would say if you didn't like it before, you're not going to like this, but it's probably like the most okay it's been in a while. Like the second season was definitely like complete and utter garbage, but this one's like kind of okay and might be better, but I wouldn't keep your hopes up if you wanted to watch it, but I doubt anyone will.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it definitely sounds like at least the anime is getting to what is the quote unquote cream of the crop, and then there was a bit of a honeymoon phase, and either season 4 or season 5, which is inevitably going to come out, considering the kind of reception it's gotten. It'll come back. It'll come back into the limelight once that chapter gets adapted. But until then, at least there's something good to look forward to on this.
The manga's
like-
a consistent like top 5 seller or so, maybe even better.
this got adapted super fast because if you remember the second season, it only came out last summer, so we basically got a year after year release. Like, it's kind of funny how this is being adapted as fast as like Demon Slayer is.
Yeah. Well, for
It's
what
got the
worth.
interest, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just as exciting as Demon Slayer. They're in the same tier. They make me cringe just about as equally. All right, C5. You were watching Liar Liar, right?
Yeah.
I also
so-
watched 3 episodes.
Oh, I didn't even see it in your list, Block. All right, what's
I'm
the
caught
deal
up to
with
this.
Yeah, because I
Liar
dropped it.
Liar?
It's basically like the closest comparison I could think of is like No Game No Life, but imagine there's no Isekai aspect and the location is more like Academy City from like
I would
Rogan
say
or
I
Undead.
would say it's more like the setting of Classroom of the Elite.
Okay, because I haven't seen that, so I don't know
Oh,
what the
okay.
location is like for that.
It's like this. It's
It's a
like the same shit
classroom.
where they live in a school city, but they also have like this social credit thing, where it's like your grades and whatever games determine your status in the school, and that shit.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty similar then to this. This show's like kind of weird because the concept isn't just, oh, we have an MC that is what everyone at home wants to be, like some incredible 2000 IQ nerd. The idea is that he's not actually that great at games, but he won like one game which was against someone who had to like protect like this identity of theirs, and because that person was so high up in the school, he has to pretend to be like a really high ranking person, which is like a 7-star is what it's called. That's like the highest rank, I believe, or something like that. And he has to pretend to be a 7-star. So if he loses, like his identity and the girl's identity of who he beat are kind of gone. So they basically work together to keep their identities like safe. So he's not that great at games, but he has like people help him cheat, which is like the Maid in the visual, if you can see, and he has like a hacker man in the back as well. So it's basically just one of those shows where it's like, are you excited to see him cheat through games and see how he wins, like in a stupid fashion once again?
Yeah, like episode 1 was like actually kind of fun because he wasn't cheating at that point. It was just him bullshitting his way to a victory. Like it's like that JoJo fight of Yotaro and the poker dude, where it's like he's just bullshitting so much that he starts stripping off the person that is supposed to be like a pro expert at the game. So like he causes them to lose their cool and lose, and like then he's like, oh, I don't know anything about this game at all. I just was lucky, you know.
Yeah, I think my like biggest problem. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was going to like see if I said they introduce a character. Well, the plot and the character that is like, oh, you have to maintain this whole persona the whole time, but we will have you with the games. And it's like, if he's now cheating with external help, then it kind of loses all the charm that it had in the first episode.
Yeah, that's fair. I think my main problem is just that the games themselves are not that interesting. Because like when I watch a show like this, or like Kaiji, or like Kakaguri, or No Game No Life, the thing that carries the show is like the games. And if the games aren't interesting, then like why are you even watching at that point? So my main problem with this is that so far the games have been kind of average, and if they stay average, I probably wouldn't watch like a second season of this. But it's like okay enough where I'm still happy to watch more of it, and the visuals are decent. But I'm also kind of worried that they're not gonna have any sort of like engaging stuff going on in the games. And there was like this one production error in like one of the recent episodes where I was talking to Smurf about it, and it basically meant that he couldn't have won the game with what they showed on screen. So it was like a really weird error where it was like, is this a plot hole or is it just an animation problem or did they just not explain it well enough? So I think with the games themselves, it's like kind of going downhill, if anything.
He cheated not only the game, but himself. He didn't grow, he didn't improve. He took a shortcut and gained nothing. He experienced a hollow victory. Nothing was risked and nothing was gained. It's sad that he doesn't know the difference.
One thing I noticed that it was like, this had like the ecchi tag, I think, on AniList. And watching it so far, it's nothing really that all that really. It's not like I was expecting some sort of like High School of the
it
Dead
actually
thing.
it doesn't have any fan service.
That's really surprising because I just looked at the designs and I'm like, yeah, these are ecchi designs. They're gonna get naked.
Yeah. But literally nothing really happens, which is kind of surprising because I thought it would be like High School of the Dead or like High School DxD or No Game No Life or something like that, where it's just like there's no reason for them to be like this, but it happens because ecchi, because everyone loves it, I guess. But they kind of like restrained with it, to be honest. It's not that like down bad at all.
Can I ask what's wrong with this chick's eye on screen? I guess I should share my screen.
Which one?
I don't know. Her
I
name's
never saw her.
Her name's Shina Sumugi.
Oh, we haven't met this character yet. I'm like caught up to episode 5 and I don't know that like edgy. If you mean the edgy looking one, I don't actually know who that is.
Exciting. I should probably share my screen. Lol. Where am I? How does this work? How does Discord work? What the hell? I can't see anything.
Who am I? What am I? Where am I? Where am I?
I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how computers work. Did I just freeze everything? Okay. That was really weird. Alright, let's get out of there. Because everything's breaking. Alright, oh, I don't know if anybody's watching this, but The Devil is a Part-Timer finally got a second season, guys.
No.
Yeah, it's the second season of the second season of The Devil is a Part-Timer.
Wait,
what season? What second season? Huh?
Yeah, it's season 2 of season 2. Oh, look, the English name, season 2 sequel. What the fuck is that?
I mean, I've never heard of The Devil's a Part-Timer season 2. There was only one season. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Now you're talking about 2 fake seasons.
Moss,
This is ridiculous.
did you ever check it out, Moss?
No, I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's just legendary bad. It had some good stuff, but I'm talking about like literal single episode and one character, and that's about it. Everything else is just a huge, enormous downgrade.
Damn.
I was just gonna say, I hate this trend that's going on where it's like called the second season, but it's like obviously not the second season. Like I put it in my airing screenshot that I sent earlier, but I have Baki, and Baki's latest season is called Baki Honma Second Season, but it's actually the 5th season of Baki. So it's really confusing because they did a name change last season, and now it's the second season of the name change season.
These fucking Kingdom Hearts ass names. It's the 5th season, but it's season 2. Yeah, I seriously love. I don't know what they were cooking with this, but The Devil is a Part-Timer. Like the production company themselves had to come down and say, by the way, guys, this is season 2. That is what we are calling it this season. So there's The Devil is a Part-Timer, and then The Devil is a Part-Timer with 2 exclamation points, and then that is the one that got a second season. It is the funniest thing ever. I don't know why it's like that, but I love it.
Attack on Titan has done irreparable damage to our society. That's what I'm thinking.
Girls and Panzer did it first. Girls and
That's true, actually. That series is a mess.
Yeah, if only we just stuck with Keijo, and then we could just dictate seasons based on the exclamation point number. That was definitely a season. A lot of back and forth.
All right, this was one series I was actually pretty interested in. This is Reign of the Seven Spellblades. So what's this about, C5?
I saw one episode. It's literally Harry Potter with a harem. That's kind of literally.
So it's Harry Potter.
I'm caught up to this.
There's a not trend this year of anime adaptations based off Harry Potter with Marshall and this one, and I'm pretty sure there is another one this very season actually, which I like more than this one. I'm still watching it.
So with this show, it's like the idea is they have like a magic school, but in the magic school they fight with blades as well. So it's like a sword plus magic kind of thing.
How innovative.
And the main character is has the main dynamic is between him and like a samurai girl who like transfers in, and she's obviously like from a completely different culture, and the idea of the show is like how she adapts into the school and like what goes on between her and the people around her, and like the kind of mystery behind her, I guess, because the idea is she's like a child soldier from war, and the rest of them are like from noble families and stuff. So like the contrast is quite big between like characters and her herself. And so like she has kind of a hard time fitting in, but the show is like really weird in the sense that the pacing is like adapting a light novel. But I've heard the light novel itself has fast pacing, but because it's a light novel to anime adaptation, a lot of the scenes like go through real fast. So we'll go from one scene, from one thing happening to another scene to another thing happening, but it's like completely different. So you'll have one scene, for example, where it's like a school argument between two people in class, and then you go to another scene where it's like a girl trying to help a troll who's like locked up in a cage, and you're like, what's going on? Why is it so fastly paced? Which like I guess it's like a subjective thing. Like some people might like the fact that it goes from one scene to another without real like downtime, but on the other side, it's like I think that might be a problem later on if it doesn't like slow down at some point to give the characters like more room to breathe.
That's interesting because I do know that this is by the author of Alderman on the Sky, which I felt like was a slower adaptation or a slower paced story. Then again, I also don't remember a whole lot from that series.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Honestly, from a production span point of view, this is pretty good. Like the latest episode had like a massive fight, and there was like a Birdman in it. And the Birdman animation was like genuinely really good. Like there was no CG at all. The camera movement was like dynamic, and the fight was pretty hype. So like I don't know how to feel about the series because on one hand I'm like, is it going through the source material too fast? But on the other hand, it's like the production is great at sometimes just for no reason at all. So like I'm enjoying it, and I really like the samurai girl. Her name's Nanao. She's like the purple-haired one. But at the same time, I'm also like worried whether I'm getting a good adaptation from a story perspective, because like JC Staff are not exactly like famous for good light novel adaptations.
They are extremely inconsistent.
Yeah,
they can be good. They can sometimes.
Sometimes
they give they give rail decks.
Yeah, you're gonna have a problem with them.
Mm-hmm. Rail decks with all the love and care through the rest of it because they know where to put the time, and then it's just kind of like, well, we got a couple of other adaptations lined up to give a bit of time to. So what do we got on the chopping block? And it's just can't confirm.
So yeah, if you're a fan of this from the source material, you're probably confused because you're probably like, wow, this looks really great in some episodes, like the latest episode with the animation, and then you're probably thinking, wait, why have they skipped through so much? So it's kind of like a balancing act of, do you read the source material just because it's probably going to be better and more in depth, or do you stick with the anime because you want to see like the scenes animated in like a pretty well done way? And I'd say the soundtrack is also pretty decent for this show so far. So it's not like the worst adaptation. It has its like very like high moments, but I can see why people would have a problem with it just because of how fast paced it is. And I don't think it's meant to be that fast paced. But I have heard, like I said earlier, that the first light novel is quite fast paced. So I'm not sure if it's like an adaptation thing entirely or just the source was like this.
By the way, you could also read the manga version of this, which is drawn by my favorite mangaka of all time, Sakai Isuno.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't actually know that. Apparently, it might be adapting the manga version of it.
I mean,
actually, but I don't know
that's
if it
usually
is.
what happens with these sort of things. They use the manga for like the visual guide because it's just easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would explain it being quite fast paced, but I'm not sure if that's like totally true or not.
Yeah. Anybody wants to know where the Mirai Nikki guy went? It's this series. Funny enough.
Oh boy.
Yep. What what is he cooking? Unfortunately, nothing.
Maybe that explains like how much gore there was in the latest episode. It was kind of like crazy because like from the first few episodes, it's not like gory at all, and then the latest episode, just like all hell breaks
Oh wait,
loose.
I actually did hear that. Like I did drop it in like episode 1, but I watched with a source and he was like, so I hear this is like Harry Potter meets what anime did he said? He said something. I don't know. I think he said Elfen Lied or something. Like it just becomes excessively gory, like for no reason at all. Which no, I think it was Harry Potter meets Akame ga Kill. I think he made that comparison where like people just die at for whatever reason all the fucking time, and like that sounds kind of fun, but I don't want to right now.
At the very least, right now, the main characters aren't just getting jobbered. Like, there's this one girl called Katie, and she kind of has a bad time of it. She's, like, constantly getting bullied and stuff. But, like, so far, it doesn't feel like the main characters are just going to die off, but who knows? Like, it's one of those shows that's, like, hard to predict if it's going to be good or not. Even if the animation and stuff can be really good at times, I just can't tell if the story will go in the correct manner and, like, light novel readers will be happy with it. They probably won't be because it's, you know, source readers are never happy, but...
All right. What else? What else is going on this season? At this point now, I'm actually lost. I don't actually. Okay.
Anybody jump into Undead Girl Murder Farce?
Undead Girl Murder Farce. This was okay. So I actually did watch the first episode, but I don't remember anything from it. I don't think I was paying very good attention. This is the Kaguya director, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Kaguya director, Rakugo Shinju director.
Why is he so busy? I don't know. I'm just glad that I have an anime. There's an anime this season to fill in the void left behind by Dead Mount Deathplay for just extremely silly and edgy titles.
I thought you were going to say Ines Factor because this anime is kind of literally Ines Factor.
Oh, is it? Awesome. Fuck yeah.
I mean, look, what,
A little bit, I could see that.
you only saw the first episode?
No, I've watched the last 4.
No, I mean Moss.
I'm caught up, but I think Mars has only seen the first
somewhat.
episode.
Yeah, I can't really tell you much about it, but maybe hearing about it would.
Yeah, like
enlighten
the
me.
first episode was like, you know, all the introduction and, you know, people like it for the banter and the direction. Like, yeah, that was pretty good. And that's why I was on board. It was like, this is kind of like, if this is like Monogatari where it is just talking, but as long as the direction and dialogue and the topic and whatever is interesting, I can vibe with that. But from episode 2 onwards, it becomes a mystery show, which I did not expect at all. Like they just arrive to some random house and and as detectives, and they start solving a mystery. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I did not foresee any of this from the first episode. Like it felt like a 180, at least for me, because I don't recall any mentions of mysteries in the first episode. So it's like. Yeah, recently they just finished a 3-episode mystery arc, and like it's fine, decent. Like the main appeal is like watching the talking head like make all these 400 IQ deductions and to find out who the guilty person is.
It's basically
Yeah,
like
it's a little bit of yeah.
I was just gonna say quickly, it's like if Areki from like Hyouga was like a talking head and had a bit of an attitude and like a dynamic with this like Oni guy.
She's
So-
very snarky.
Yeah, she is very like she has an exciting personality. I do enjoy like their dynamic at least.
That's cool.
Yeah, they were able to. Yeah, they had some time together. They were able to go through, build up the dynamic. So by the time that they walked through the door, they had already been through enough time to kind of like get their repertoire and their back and forth, and it's fun to watch them just like trade blows back and forth and get through the rest of it, and they make each other laugh. It's great when you have a couple of boys or a couple of crew mates to help you around and share a laugh or two in the middle of some very morbid circumstances.
I didn't even think about what Block said about, like, it doesn't seem like a mystery in the first episode. Because, like, the only reason why I knew it would be a mystery is because I read the synopsis, which is like,
Oh yeah,
it
I
says,
don't read them.
yeah, that's like the only reason why I knew it was a mystery. So I didn't even think to consider that someone might watch the first episode and then see the second and be like, wait, why are they solving mysteries?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a jump because it's just they do give you that they have a goal and a shared goal between the two of them to find one particular person who were able to wrong their bodies in various ways. One was just left in the head, the other one was just kind of like left alone to die by his own terms. But to that point, it was just kind of like, all right, we're going to get from point A to point B in an extremely quick manner. But then, yeah, at that point, it just gets to a degree where it was just like, and now we're going to be going for supernatural murders. And this first story is going to be taking 3 episodes. So it was just kind of like, wait, okay, hold on, we moved at a breakneck pace, and now we're in the same scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, with what the first episode showed, and like the OP, which by the way is a banger. Like the OP is very action packed. Like
yeah, the OP is so
like
good.
I thought it was like a battle shot. Like, oh, they're going from Japan all the way to France, and like there will be a lot of fights, and who knows what other supernatural monsters. When it's like flash forward, they are already in Europe, and they are in some random house solving a mystery. So it's like, yeah, that was a bit of a jump.
Yeah, a bit more of a brains and a brawn dynamic where you've got a half and half.
Yeah, it's a good rec.
Yep, I'll definitely go through. The guy hasn't lost his touch yet. He's like going back to back to back between Rakugo and that Imikage, which, to be fair, a lot of the stories and a lot of the dynamics and the way that they basically try to deduce a lot of the stuff that happens in the show has a very Rakugo feel, where it's not like they're improvising or they're trying to figure stuff out on the spot. It feels like they have everything set up beat for beat to go through the rest of it, because they're very static. They don't really move a lot in the next couple of episodes, but it does really feel like it's up at a much quicker pace than you would expect.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like, the directing is pretty good, and I would say it reflects the directing style you've seen from this director before. So if that's the appeal to you, you'll probably enjoy it, as long as you're okay with the setting and like the mystery aspect.
I love it. I'm excited for it. Although I do want to know why the English title dropped the girl in the title. Like, what do they have against women?
It's gender neutral Undead. It's progressive was.
Undead murder farce. It just doesn't have the same ring to it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I hate that they did
Oh,
that.
Moss, can we got back to Vending Machine?
Oh my god. Okay. I swear to God, the entire community, everybody that I know is trying to gaslight me into thinking that this show's good and trying to get me to watch this. Because I hear like, everyone that I know who has tried the vending machine has come out saying, wow, this show's actually good.
Okay, look, it's definitely another isekai that is just tryharding and whatever concept it's trying in order to be interesting. But this is just fun. Like, okay, so far it's 4 episodes, and like, yeah, I can notice that it is running a bit out of steam. But the first 2 episodes were like really fun. Like, it's just fun because it's like, well, for starters, the protagonist is the machine, but like he cannot. He's limited to 4 phrases of the automatic machines. That is just hello there, thank you for your purchase, and who knows what else. He cannot really interact with the rest of the world. Did you saw the sword isekai, Mos?
The sword isekai?
Oh no, you didn't. Well,
you mean Reborn? Reborn as
reincarnated.
Yeah.
See, I was joking because I'm just like, there are so many isekai about guys who have swords. What the fuck are you talking about? But no,
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about now. But the answer is no. No.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason why I tolerated both of this is because, well, my issue with isekai usually the protagonist, where like he's showered with titties, he's like always an otaku, he's always going on some otaku insult shit, and who know what else. This protagonist is just just some dude that likes vending machines. Like that's literally it. He has no personality at all, and like, but like the story is more about the girl that carries the machine than it is about him, and like it is more like him taking care about her indirectly because he cannot talk to her, he cannot move, he cannot do anything to save her. So it has been interesting how it plays into the fantasy world. It's a really fun evolution. But again, you know how it's with this isekai, where at one point they will run out of ideas, and like episode 4 is kind of starting to show that. But so far, I'm having fun. It is like top half of the season for me at the least. When the first in the first week when everything was on episode 1, I would say this was on my top 5.
Okay.
Also, I think it's starting to develop a harem somehow. Like he cannot talk, he cannot react to anything, but he is low-key getting a harem.
Dread it, run from it. The isekai harem still arrives.
I love it. It's so. Every episode we just meme about how doujins would look about this show. Like it's just a fucking machine.
The only thing I like about this show is the Nendroids. Like, I just posted it in the
Yeah,
chat,
the
but
Nendo is pretty nice.
that is so good. Like, I kind of want that, I'll be honest.
But yeah, it's just a fun time. Like once the season is over, I don't think I will go out of my way recommending it. It's fun, you know. It doesn't make me want to kill myself like most isekai.
Well, I'm not going to take this away from you. I am just going to pretend that it doesn't exist, like I have for the entire rest of my life up to this point. I will, because I don't want to hate it. You know, I feel like this came out in this phase where everyone was just trying to make the stupidest isekai possible. Like, cause like this really happened like all over the place. Everybody's just like, all right, this random thing in another world. I'm doing this in another world. I became this in another world. It's like everything was just so random. I feel like this was just part of some kind of I don't know, some meta contest, some memetic contest to see who could just come up with the dumbest thing, and also see which of them would get adapted into anime. So this one won. Congrats.
Also, they named the machine Boxo. I love that name.
Nice. Boxo. All right.
Yeah, that's
like seriously, it's just a vending machine with anime eyes. Like there has to be a joke somewhere. Like that in and of itself has to be the joke.
Canonically, no, they cannot see the eyes. It is just for the audience.
Oh, it's for our viewing pleasure. That's wonderful. I'm glad they added that for us so that we can treat this like a character.
And the characters in the show can treat this walking metallic box from another world as a conceptual and, like I said, it's a horror. Like, what essentially is going on? How is this machine talking to me? I don't know what the concept of machine is. This is just horrific.
Yeah, I don't know why, but the fact that you mentioned that it doesn't have the eyes to the actual characters, it just made it way more creepy to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's vending machine.
All right. So remember when we were talking about OLM? Well, they do have a show this season called Dark Gathering. A show about a guy who is constantly surrounded by spirits or something like that, ghosts and other spooky stuff. And he just kind of like wishes he wouldn't. He kind of wishes he would get away from all of that. He's just trying to live a normal life. He's a pretty good student, so he works as a tutor for some younger kids, and like his best friend or whoever actually has someone in need of a tutor, some absolute freak of nature that she took in as an adoptive sister, who of course is just like surrounded by spirits and is just extremely horrifying and creepy, and that's just kind of the show.
Yeah, I think with this show, like, my concern was at first, watching the first episode, was like, wait, there's like far too much comedy in this for me to like take it seriously at times. But then in the last few episodes, I would say they've like toned down the comedy a lot, and the horror has hit a bit more for me. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, it does feel maybe a little bit unbalanced because I would say like for the most part it's just played up like a comedy with all of this different supernatural stuff. But then at the end of every episode, the girl will do something like actually genuinely terrifying, and it's like, okay, this is really weird.
Yeah, like I dropped it first episode because I just thought it was boring, but everyone is like, oh, this is like one of the first legit horrors in anime. And like, I don't know how that can happen with at least what I saw from episode 1.
For me, I think what makes it scary when it actually is scary is like the sound design and the direction.
Yeah.
Like that is like really creepy when like some of the spirits like make the noises they do or like speak the way they do. So I think what will carry the show, honestly, from a horror perspective, is how they make the monsters like make the noises and how they speak, and like how they're going to continue to like evolve the spirits they see and find, I guess.
Oh, also,
It's like Miyaruko-chan.
What was I going to say? Oh shit! I already lost track of my thoughts.
Like
oh yeah, I wouldn't have mind to keep it, but this is too coarse. I cannot give that a show I'm so unsure about 26 episodes.
That actually makes me a little bit more excited for it because basically right now I'm kind of just waiting for it to get to the point. Like I'm not entirely sure where the show is going, but I hope that it will eventually have some kind of direction and that will be interesting. And because it's 2 cores, I'm confident that something really interesting is going to happen.
Or it just does fuck all for 20 episodes.
I don't know.
I wanted to ask, have you seen the latest episode?
I've only seen 2 episodes.
Okay, so the latest episode will kind of give you the plot setup of like what the goal is in mind for the little girl, I guess, in terms of the spirits. Because she does say in the earlier episodes that she wants to get revenge on spirit that like took her mom or whatever. Yeah. But in the latest episode, like they actually tell you how she's planning to go about it, and it's like kind of crazy, the concept. I probably won't say it because you probably want to just come and see and then tell me your thoughts organically with how they present it. I think it could be a cool concept. To some people it might not be because it might take away from the horror a little bit, but I think it will be a decent concept going forward if they do it right.
Yeah, just right now we just see them like the first 2 episodes have basically just been monster of the week type of stuff. But I guess a small twist is that the girl kind of collects those spirits that they found and it just like keeps them in her room as a torture chamber or something. And it's like, okay, normal behavior. They
expand on that. So, like, with the latest episode, they're just going to basically tell you what the reason is for why she does that and what's going to happen from the spirits. And it's pretty cool, but I do think this show is not going to be for everyone, even people who like horror, because the way they're going for it might be not the balance they're looking for. Because some people, I feel like, will want to watch this and just see, like, the spirits and spooky stuff happen. But then some people will be like, okay, I want to see what's actually, like, the point of the spirits and the point of this, like, little kid being so creepy and like what she's actually trying to do. So I guess it depends on what you're watching the show for.
I want to shout out the top review on my anime list. This show is such an abysmal artistic failure, you'd think it was directed by Ikuhara.
Damn. Okay.
What a fucking statement. Okay. It did make me think, like, when was the last time we've had a horror series that was actually, like, widely accepted by the community? Like, what defines good horror for people? Because one of my favorite horror anime of all time is Happy Sugar Life. I think that's, like, the most underrated anime of the last several years, but everybody else says it's a total piece of shit.
I feel like
it's difficult because it always...
Like that, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. It's just that, it's tough to throttle the line between a horror and a thriller, so they're always like writing each line individually, and or not individually, but they overlap a bit. So there have been a lot of good thriller shows, but horror, it's more difficult.
I would say for me it's Mononoke.
Mononoke is really good.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
See, the thing is though, that's really old. Like, when was the last time we had a horror show that was like, you know, it popped off? Everybody was like, oh, wow, what a great show. Like, okay, Dorohedo's listed as a horror, but I wouldn't really... Like, Dorohedo's way too funny to be...
Yeah, that's
Do you
like
count,
body horror, thriller,
Yeah, it's
comedy.
like it's just gross. I guess Devilman Crybaby would be the last
Yeah, I was gonna say,
one.
do you count Devilman Crybaby? Because
But that was
won, like,
5
Anime of the
years
Year,
ago.
I could put that in that category, yeah.
I mean, I
'Cause,
liked
yeah, it's typical.
Mariko-chan, but I don't think everyone liked Mariko-chan. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Miyako-chan.
It's that, but it just sounds like it rides the same one as Dark Gathering is, where it's a horror comedy.
Yeah.
So it's
exactly.
just difficult to kind of see because it's the monster. Well, not the monster designs. The ghouls and the spirits are terrifying in Mirko, but it's almost like at this poor girl's expense. Like, good God, like she needs a break.
Poor Miyako-chan.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the difference between them two is like Miko doesn't want the spirits around, while Yayoi, who's the little girl, she does want the spirits around. So it's like the comedy is completely different. Where like with Mariko-chan, the comedy is kind of mixed into the horror moments because it's about how she reacts to it. While with this show, it's like, oh, the MC doesn't like the spirits, so the horror comes from the comedy comes from like trying to convince him to go with them and like deal with the spirits, I guess. So the horror doesn't mix in with the comedy as much in Dark Gathering than it does in Mariko-chan, if that makes sense.
Oh, here's my favorite horror anime: Fire Emblem Heroes Book 3, the movie.
Wait, what?
I don't.
There is an
know.
OVA on Fire Emblem Heroes. They're all,
And it's
I'm not
listed as a
surprised,
horror.
but I have never heard of this.
I didn't
Oh
even
my
know
God.
this existed. What?
It's 1 minute. It's like a commercial, but it's listed
Okay,
as a
there we go.
horror.
Oh, right, I see.
Okay.
Nope, I refuse to give it money. I'm not a gacha man. I am a Fire Emblem man, but I'm definitely not a gacha man.
Yep, same.
But are you part of the Gacha Man crowds?
Can confirm. I do enjoy me some gacha man crowds.
Okay. Yeah, that's an anime I'm very interested in. Dark Gathering. I will say, like, right now I can't say too much positively about it, but I will let them cook. Maybe because it's OLM and, you know, I enjoy their stuff. Last time they did a 2-core show that occurred in the summer, it was really good, so I'm just gonna... Wait, maybe that's actually another one. Summertime Render. Does that not count as a horror?
I was going to reference it. It is a thriller, for sure. It is definitely a thriller mystery sort of deal. But it's once
It was
I
certainly
can't remember
scary at some points.
It's a thriller.
Oh yeah,
It's a flat-out action show. Like I don't feel it's horror at any point.
Yeah, I think by the second half, the like scary aspect kind of wears off because it comes to like action heavy, which I like the action, but I wouldn't say it was like creepy anymore after the action started.
Mm-hmm. It does a really good job.
I suppose this is my fault for not seeing the second half of it. I should do that someday. Okay. Anything else, actually? I'm not entirely sure what else is on the list. Oh, there's the other Gohan's show. There's a second Gohan's anime this season. Thing is, though...
Have you seen it, actually?
I've seen the first episode, and it looks fantastic. And not even in the same, like, mimetic, shitty Gohan's way. Like, this show... Like if I didn't know this show was by Gohan's, I would have been saying, like, wow, this show looks really good. Who could have possibly done this?
It's definitely better, and, like, I actually like a lot of the character animation on the girl. But, well, the backgrounds are still Gohan's. They don't look very good. But the girl's apartment and most human characters in general just have this green tone to them. Like, it bothers me. Like, why does it look greenish? Like, it's
Gohan's.
weird.
It's Gohan's character design.
It looks like she was in a cartoon where there was cursed broccoli or something and she was turning green.
Yeah, the green tone filter I've seen recently, like, I don't know if anyone watched Kakegurui Twin, but, like, for some reason it just had, like, a massive green filter over the entire show, and I didn't really get why.
Well, at least from the clips I've seen, I haven't seen all of it, but through the rest of it, it's almost like they finally got a reel, or at least a grip on whoever was in charge of the cinematography and managing the camera inside the environments, where it's just like you have one person operating the camera and the other person holding the person with the camera back, where it's like, okay, I'm keeping you steady. We're not, like, I'm going to hold this, we're going to hold on this shot, We're not going to whip the camera around. We're not going to just like pull it in and out and give it as many dynamic camera views as possible. It's just one person to control the camera, one person to control the one who controls the camera to it, and it fits. It actually
it's actually
coherent.
clever cinematography. It's not just like, hey guys, look at us, we're go hands. Woo! Look at us move the fucking camera. Wow.
A lot more controlled. It's nice.
Yeah, like this is just a normal slice of life. There's not much to it, but
Yeah,
the
that's
girl
the
is
thing.
pretty fun. Chase the disaster. It's just fine.
Yeah, but I love it. It speaks to me. It speaks to my desire of just wanting to live with cats. But also, if the cats could take care of me, that would be cool too. But I just enjoy anything with big cats. I'm a big cat fan myself. So thank you, Gohans, for making this anime.
I did like that the first episode starts with her just asking, "Why are you so big?" and it just gets ignored after that.
Why are you the way that you are? I mean, that's the conversation I have with my cat every now and then. Just, why do you like that? Why do you look like this? Cats are funny. I think it's funny the way cats look.
I did watch the
Why are you
cat
so
show
big?
from last season. Oh, sorry.
Cat show from last season.
There was a cat show from last season. called, like,
Kawaisugi Crisis?
Yeah. That filled my cat quota for the year. I don't think I needed another cat show.
I did like that. That was
But
cute.
I dropped it. Well, I complained, but it's so boring.
Well, you don't like the fact that she just kills abusive pet owners? That was so based.
Yeah, that was amazing. I can't.
That was like the best
okay,
scene
I'm
of the
down.
season. I was like legit cheering, like, because in my head I'm thinking, oh man, if she kills these people, that would be so cool. And then she just did that. Anime of the season. Anyway,
Yeah, definitely do appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, can I do some rapid fire comments on some stuff before that was?
absolutely go.
Okay, first, Hero Classroom Heiyu Kyushu in the left. That one is like my guilty pleasure so far. It's a fantasy show of a hero that gets burned out on being a hero, and like it's like fully comedic because okay, how to say it? Like it has these instances of being like half serious where it's only goes on his PTSD of being a hero and who knows what else. But that stuff is like 1 minute per episode, and it just goes back to being a comedy edgy anime. Like I kind of like that vibe of not giving a shit about any plot at all. So it's like the hero goes to a school and he wants to be normal and wants to make friends because he never had friends. And it's just this happy-go-lucky guy that can accidentally tear everything apart. And it's like, no, guys, I don't want to be the hero. Fuck off. And but like, you know, he wants to make friends, so he just goes forwards to everyone. Hey, wanna be my friend? I want to have 100 friends, like OG Butcher or something. And like, yeah, it's just every episode has at least so far. It's just him meeting a new girl and making friends, and like, it's just fun, I guess.
Shout out to the fact that this show has an OP by a Niji Sanji VTuber. Okay. That's the first.
Yeah,
well, I'd say it's the first time that's happened, but actually it's not. It's the second time it's happened.
Yeah, it's not a huge recommendation. Like it's just fun. It looks like shit, and like it's a fantasy show, so it probably go to shit. So that's it.
Oh my god, it has the director of Spy Classroom. Let's go. This guy really loves his classroom anime. Get
I was
this
gonna
guy
say
on Classroom of the Elite.
we managed to make Spy Classroom relevant again with another conversation.
Let's go.
The other is Tiny Senpai. It's literally Senpai is annoying, but the girl has fat tits and like.
So it's just my senpai. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, it's Bocchan.
I was confusing
senpai.
I was confusing that with Uzaki.
It has something that I like to call lack of confidence, because the first 2 episodes has an enormous focus on the girl's tits, but like it's not an ecchi at all. It just has these camera angles that focus on her tits all the fucking time. And after that, it's just an incredibly average rom-com. Like,
Shout out.
if you who?
Shout out to her being voiced by Hina Tachibana, the famous domestic girlfriend character. Also Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah, like this is just another rom-com. Like I just feel like commenting, like yeah, it's just budget senpais annoying, and like I keep finding this trend interesting where they shove dates all over the place in the first instances of the show, but then
Nice.
it becomes an incredibly mediocre anime where it's like, okay, we got an audience that felt for the dates, so now we can do our stuff of being just a mid rom-com.
Love it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, last episode was like actually legit good, but like you won't miss anything by skipping this one.
Probably not.
The other is the second season of Shinigami Bocchan. You guys ever heard of the first season?
I've heard of it. It was a show that I planned to watch and never watched a single second of it because I just like skipped that entire season.
So it's a romance of one guy that is cursed with everything that he touches with his hands dies, including human beings. And one of his mates has a crush on him, and she has this big aura energy that doesn't give a shit about his curse, and like always teases him about touching her tits or kissing her, and like, I can kill you, right? And like, I don't care about Chansaman, like, it's that type of humor of her teasing him and him reacting. But it has, well, for starters, the plot is like kind of pretty engaging. It's a mystery of finding some way to cure his curse. And the other is that it has pretty legit romantic progression. Like, okay, I will lightly spoil. Light spoilers. Do you guys care?
No, I don't care.
No, I'm not bothered.
Yeah, they essentially confess to each other at the end of the first season. So it's like it's kind of official that they are into each other, but again, they cannot do anything because of his curse. But like, yeah, they already know. Like, the guy already flat out told her that he loves her, and like he often goes on this one like, yeah, I love you, so I will try to find a way to heal my curse, and that's that type of shit. And it's still going strong. I recommend to start if you haven't.
Cool.
Also, the OPs are above and it's full CGI.
Yeah, it's the staff that made High Score Girl.
Yes.
So it's a very...
tempting.
Yeah, it's like interesting CGI. I don't know if I love it. I guess I haven't seen High Score Girl. I never watched that. So I guess I haven't seen one of their shows. Staff.
I'm not as hot on High Score Girl, but I'm liking this one plenty.
Yeah. I should try it out because this woman is extremely hot. That's my attachment to it.
Yeah. Now you can continue down.
I was gonna say, did anyone watch Helk?
You know what? I actually did want to bring up Helk because I have friends who are really into this series and say it's like the greatest thing ever.
I have heard a lot of praise for the manga. I dropped on the first episode because I don't feel the humor sticking. Like, I can see the charm of the humor. Like, it had instances where like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. Like, the voice acting of the main girl is also pretty good, but like it's too hit and miss for me, so I dropped it. But apparently it's pretty popular right now.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good series so far. I like the dynamic between the main character. Well, I guess Helk is kind of the main character, but then you have like the Demon Lord chick who's like kind of the one watching over him. And like at the minute, it's a bit like it's like a speed running a tournament arc where he has to like qualify to become the next Demon Lord. And the other characters around him are like surprisingly decent. So I'm enjoying it.
Wait, it's still on the tournament?
Yeah, it's still on the tournament. It's on the like final phase, like the final battle, I guess.
Yeah, like so the show is like about they are holding a tournament to select the next Demon Lord, but they find out that the brother of the hero is participating, a human, and like the girl that is hosting the tournament is like trying to sabotage it to kill him, but of course he is like OP as fuck, so he does everything perfectly. Like they flat out stop having fights and they start doing stuff like cooking contests and card games and who knows what else, and like he smashes through fucking everything. But it's like about, so supposedly the brother is like, I don't know, he just said that he hates humanity and like wants to become a demon, so he is here. but like they don't want him, and like at least the demon lord doesn't want him around, but all the demons are like, yeah, fuck yeah, he hates humans, one of us. So it's about that conflict where it's like she tries to kill him, but he breaks through every single challenge with ease. That's where most of the humor comes around.
Yeah, it's like more of a thing where she's like, she doesn't trust that he will not just turn on them at some point. So, like in the latest episodes, she's trying to like infiltrate the tournament and try to like get an idea whether it's actually safe for him to win or whether like it'll be a massive problem if he becomes Demon Lord because he's a human. But like the thing is, he's like completely like honest and like open faced towards like every other character, but still suspicious to like the Demon Lord lady. She just does not trust him at all.
Yeah, a 90% like a good comedy, and then there's always the underlying bit where it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, no, it's great, you know, human wants to be the one to wipe out humanity, but why is he here? Why is he really here? And because there's always just specks of information that just gets thrown in. It's like, wait, that doesn't make sense. How exactly does that go through and fit in with the rest of the crew? So it keeps you laughing and it keeps you guessing. So it's been pretty good so far.
That's cool. I did not know it was 2 cores, or maybe I did and just forgot. So.
Oh, it's 2 cores. I'm not struggling for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I got time for that. I'll try it. I will try it. All right. Anything else?
You guys checked the Atelier Ryza adaptation?
No.
None of you?
No.
No,
Is that the gacha girl with the thighs?
Thigh girls.
The only reason why it's popular at all.
Oh right, I was with game adaptations. I'm just like, I'll play the game at some point. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, like the thing is, what game adaptations have ever been good?
Okay, I will say. Okay.
Cyberpunk, not too bad.
Okay, Cyberpunk.
I obviously watch it, of course, because of tags. Like, I mean, Ryza is dumb hot. Like, that's the reason why most people pick it up.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, the staff is incredibly aware of this. The amount of tag shots is fucking insane.
Like, I previewed this. I previewed this, and like just within the PV itself, it's just like I can just like point the exact frame.
Yeah, I would say an average of 10 tag shots per episode is like on the lower estimate. It definitely goes above that. Outside of that, I actually like the first episode because I have a soft spot for this type of adventure shows, where it's like, oh, I live a boring life, but I want to become an adventurer and explore the world. And like, okay, I can vibe with that, and like the characters are kind of fun. I can vibe with this. But so far, it has gotten a bit boring. Like people say that the game doesn't have what it's needed to have an entertaining anime.
Yeah.
But and like you can tell the parts where it's clearly taking directly from the game. Like, oh, this episode is about sending you guys to some random place to collect plants, and like they also have these sequences where it's clearly when you are meant to be making potions, and that style of thing. It has gotten a bit boring, but I'm 5 episodes in it. I'm too deep. It's too late for me, fellas. It's over.
I'm just disappointed. I would have watched this if it came out at the same time as the Witch Hat Atelier adaptation, because that's all I wanted, was this to air alongside Witch Hat Atelier so that we could finally get Witch Hat Atelier Ryza. My every hope and dream. But no, of course we can't have that.
I'm also a bit disappointed with the visuals. Like, I can enjoy the tag shots, but it doesn't look good enough for to be a pleasure, you know.
It's a good thing we have this website called
also,
Gelboru, where we can just get that in better quality.
I have a friend that is like plays the video game. He says that the pacing is like way too slow.
It's a JRPG. They can just make you play that shit for 70 hours. I wonder how long the game is.
Yeah, he says that there should be a plot point that should be able like to grab attention back, but they are taking way too long to get there. So he is like, this is not the vibe.
Atelier Ryza. Oh, 27 and a half hours. That's not bad, actually.
So yeah, that's it. Like I kinda like the start. Like it it had enough to make me give it another chance, but so far it's not delivering on it.
Oh, well.
I did want to say, I did want to say that with Cyberpunk, I think the distinction is that Cyberpunk isn't like adapting an actual story from the game.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
did
its
mean to
own
say that.
story. So it doesn't
It's a
really
prequel,
feel
yeah,
like,
kind of,
yeah,
sort of.
yeah, it doesn't really feel like the same as like, I don't know, Nier or like Persona 5, the animation, where it's like they're trying to adapt the actual story of the game, as far as I know.
Moss, have you seen Temple?
No, I haven't.
Okay, guys, this show is unironically really fucking funny. It's like near my top 5 of the season. It's just way too funny. So it's just this is like many people like to see that this is like a throwback to Ecchi from the 2000s, early 2010s, where it's just balls to the walls comedy with titties flying around and you know what else. Also, the designs are from the Grand Blue Author, so they are.
I was about to say,
Oh my god.
yeah, same guy that did Grand Blue.
So the story is about the first. It won me in the first 30 seconds. So it starts with some kid and like a dad talking to him, and like he says, "Son, one day you can grow to be as great as me. Now I will go to Japan and have 100 lovers." And he leaves to a limousine, and like the kid is just standing there. He says, "Whoa, Dad, you are so cool! I will have 100 lovers just like you." And like, oh my fucking god, that's so fucking best. It's way too fucking funny. So
Oh,
it
that
flash
really
forwards
does look
to
like
him.
Grand Blue. Holy shit.
So he grows up to a teen, and he finds out that actually this is not very based. His dad was like a billionaire, and he's famous in Japan, but not for the good reasons. So everyone hates the guy and thinks he is just a sex criminal, or a sex offender or something. And like he hates this, and like he actually is also a pervert, so he hates that. And so to get rid of this reputation, he decides to exile himself to a temple. Like he just leaves society to become a monk. But the temple that was meant to be like male only and who knows what else is full of big titty hot girls. That turns out that the temple is a nunnery. And he also finds out that the temple was scammed by his dad and he owes like who knows how many millions of yen. So he is forced to work there for who knows how much time. And like, so the humor is like incredibly balls to the walls, edgy, you know, like the girls get naked for whatever reason, he gets titties on his face for whatever reason. But it's just so over the top. I just have a blast watching it. It's really fun. There's no other recommendation other than this is really funny.
I'm just
So Modern Love Hina. Okay.
Modern Love.
I will say the animation is like actually pretty bad, but if it had better designs, it would be fucking over for me. The girls are, some girls are pretty hot. Like if it had better animation, I would kill for it. But it's still pretty fun. Like it's just my type of slapstick comedy.
I was just like looking at the covers and I'm like, wow, this really does look like Grand Blue. For the record, it's the artist of Grand Blue, not the
Yeah,
writer.
it's the artist, not the author. I was saying that this was like a Panic core show. It's just, you know.
Oh yeah, I think I previewed this and said, oh, Panic would love this. I'm just wondering though. I'm like, my question is, how the hell did I not know about this being by the Grand Blue artist? Because I look at the covers and I'm like, okay, that's completely obvious. Did I not preview this? Did I fucking have a stroke? I'm mad that I didn't know this sooner. Or maybe I just forgot.
The designs are not very similar, and I'm pretty much the only one on the server watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine if the preview couldn't probably like get the same sort of art style through the rest of it. So even though it's done by the same artist, the translation into animation probably wouldn't have just. I wouldn't have known either way unless somebody told me, or if I hadn't read the first couple of chapters myself.
I would read the manga. That would be one thing I would try. This doesn't sound like a series I would enjoy, but out of respect for the artist, I would try it. The manga. Yeah, I have a feeling that these character designs would be really good in the manga. I feel like they're not animated. If they're not animated well, then I'm just no thanks. But okay, interesting recommendation.
Oh my god, I have a lot of stuff here.
Anything else?
Any one of you guys watching Last Boss Queen?
What?
Last Boss Queen, in the same lane as Ryza, a bit above. Yeah, there.
Oh.
Last Boss Queen.
No, this is just Hamifura again.
Yeah, but it's like more fun, Hamifura. This is actually like a serious story. So quick rundown. So the girl knows that she is the villainess, but she tries to fix it. But like she's actually smart. She's not retarded like Macarena. So like she knows she's changing the game. She's aware of all of this. So it is about her. It is not so much about Hamifura, which is like, oh, this is what happens in the game. I need to avoid this. Like, no, this is more like more serious and like more smart, to say so. So the first instance is like, for example, the guy in green in the poster. It's a guy that she supposedly makes her slave in the story. So she goes completely 180 and treats him like his best friend ever. Like gives him everything and who knows what else. It's just entertaining because it's more dramatic and serious. Like it is about her using her political power and you know what else to keep control of things. I'm cruising with it. It's not a huge recommendation, but if you are still into Otome game, it's a good recommendation, I think.
Okay.
That's it for now.
Fair enough.
What else? What was there? Oh, saying.
I was going to mention Bleach because I'm sure you watched it, and I'm surprised we haven't brought it up yet.
I wasn't sure if there would be anything to say about it. But yeah, Bleach.
I honestly don't like Bleach a lot.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay.
Well, I don't, but. Look.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Yeah, I'm here for spectacle.
If you are this deep into Bleach, you like what it's happening. Okay, the final arc of Bleach is very divisive, and where it's complete shit or the greatest thing of all time. And because this is Bleach, like this is hundreds of episodes long. If you are picking this up, you know what you are getting into. Like you already, to an extent, enjoy Bleach. So, yeah, if you like anything at all after Soul Society arc, then yeah, pick this up. But otherwise, it is just more Bleach shenanigans, you know, Aspulls to counter Aspulls, characters that haven't been relevant and who knows what else get random power-ups, training arcs, you know the drill with Bleach.
Yeah, it's similar to previously. I'm just glad that the production value still seems to be above the level.
Yeah, again, if you're a Bleach fan and you are just here to see badass designs and cool music and cool fights, then yeah, this is still probably the peak of Bleach. Because the production values are great in all fronts.
It's the people who made Akudama.
Yeah, it was definitely... Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's who's making Bleach now.
Yeah, because I was definitely concerned watching the first core, or at least the Thousand War Blood arc, considering that you were kind of bringing people back in after 10 years, I think, was the last season between the rest of it. And they did, and it's like, okay, when are they going to do the Bankai? Oh, when are they going to do the Getsuga? Oh, when are they going to do the #1 soundtrack drop? And they do that all within the first 5 minutes of the first episode of the first core, and it's just kind of like, wait, okay, hold on. What else do you have now? Is there anything like leading into this that the arc can carry itself on its own and be entertaining towards the rest of it, that you could still play your cards early and then still have more than enough to give the audience to the rest of it? And thankfully, yeah, like the first core, I will admit, like they consistently had that in spades. Like it was really, the spectacle was there, like it was really grand and entertaining. Now, at least in the first couple of episodes in the second core, it does seem like, yes, like you said before, it's going back to old Bleach, in the sense that every character in every single fight has basically a deck of Uno reverse cards sitting in their back pocket, and it's basically just throwing cards at each other consistently in the middle of the fights. But at the very least, the spectacle has been, like through the rest of it, a really fun watch.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with the sentiment there. Like, I think this core, it might not live up to the first core, but I think the first core did have like, it had it going for it where it was like the novelty of it being in the new animation with the remixes for the first time, and like seeing the very start of the arc, which is like the most chaotic part so far. So I think this core will be probably not as hype, but who knows? I haven't actually read the manga, but I don't have as high expectations. So if it does meet those, I'll be happy. But so far, it's just kind of like decent with the same amazing production values. So I can't really ask for more, I would say.
That's cool. I just now saw your your post about the Reborn as a vending machine, fucking Nendoroid. Oh my god.
That shit is literally peak. I don't know what to say. Like, you just peak at Nindroids now with that.
You can somehow insert an Nendoroid into any of your anime, then you know that's a market quality. So you've got vending machine, you've got what was it, the Ganarabuchi Thunderbolt Fantasy. And if you can somehow fit it in there, then it's always like a good mark and a good sign.
Collect all the flavors.
I love the growing eyes.
Alright, any other anime that exists in this season?
Two quick recommendations. Shiroseiyu, like right below Ryza. Shiroseiyu, Tokuro
Shiroseiyu.
Bukashu. Yeah. Saint Cecilia and the Fast of Lauren. So the fastest way to sell this
this one.
is this is a slice of life rom-com by Doga Kobo. If you know what this means, you know what to expect. Like
That's exactly what yeah.
Doga Kobo knows its audience. It's cute girls, cute romances, wholesome shit, no drama. It's always chill. It's all funny faces. You know the drill with Doga Kobo. If you are into rom-coms at all, yeah, this is fun. Like it's not a big deal. It will probably be forgotten, but it's a fun, cute seasonal to have with really nice reaction faces. I get like 10 screenshots per episode of the girls' faces.
That's cool.
And another one is something that probably no one will care about, but it's Bank Dream. It's my go. Bank Dream. It's a franchise of it's near the bottom. It's a gacha franchise, and it has like three different series at this point.
Yeah, like Bang Dream is like its own cinematic
But
universe.
this is a standalone, and you don't need to watch anything else so far.
Oh great, I'll get right on it.
So this is not a Love Life. This is not one of those gacha adaptations where you will have a bazillion characters thrown at your face. This is a more normal music anime. This is not idol music. Like think more about it like dramatic Botch is a Rock, not Love Life or any of that shit. It is about a band. Well, it starts with a flashbacks of a band that disbands because the girls are all into each other. They hate each other. And it goes to the present where a girl that is a poser, like she's a loser, but fakes being hot shit. Like she knows how to play guitar. She wants to be the main lead of a band, and the type of arrogant person. But like she's fun to watch because again she's like just pretending all the time, and she coincidentally gathers the members of the previous band, and she convinces them to give it another go to make another band. And it's more dramatic about how the girls make up with each other, and the new girl becoming a better guitarist. Because this girl also the deal with the protagonist is that she was hot shit in middle school. Like she was the only person that knew how to play guitar and was a student council president. So she went to a transfer in England, but she immediately failed and went back to Japan. So she is trying to create another image where she is the perfect girl, but she gets discovered eventually, and it is about her becoming a decent person on her own, and the band drama and that type of stuff. It has been pretty decent for me.
I love that my one and only exposure to Bang Dream was when the first season of the anime came out, and I think that's all it ever was. It was just a random anime that I saw, and I'm like, okay, this sucks, and then I dropped it, and that's it. And now it's this gigantic franchise that is always getting new
Yeah, but it's
seasons.
because it's a gacha again, so it
Yeah, I
brings
figured it
money.
out later on. I dodged.
And like at
a
least
bullet.
the main series definitely has that gacha syndrome where it has like 5, like 15 or something main characters, you know. But this one is a standalone so far. It is only 5 main characters. It has cameos, but they are not relevant at all. So because I myself haven't seen the original Bang Dream, but I'm cruising with this one.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and that for me that would be it for the season.
Well, those are all pretty good and all, but they're nothing compared to the greatest anime that's actually coming out this season, which is Spy Classroom Season 2, baby! Spy Classroom, best anime
And you actually
of the year.
it?
Yeah, of course I'm watching Spy Classroom. I fucking love Spy Classroom.
I see.
I just take foreign substances and watch this anime, and it's a wonderful time. That's it. It's a great anime. Recommended to everybody. I also recommend people watching it in the exact same way I do, which is probably not very responsibly. All right. Anybody else have anything else to say about this season?
I got a couple of shows. One quick one, Baki, like I said earlier, it has the confusing ass title. The latest season came out. If you want to watch a show where like a caveman goes into modern society and just like eats people, then
Wow.
you'll enjoy that.
Okay,
then,
sure. That sounds awesome.
And then the last one is like an actual new show. It's called Gene of AI, and it's basically like a dystopian, like futuristic setting where there's like humanoids and robots and humans, and like the idea of the show is like it takes you between like the social problems that come with having like regular robots, regular people, and then like humanoids, which are kind of like in between that. So those shows are pretty interesting if you like people beating each other up or like dystopian sci-fi kind of shows. So I've literally not seen anyone like in the Discord or anywhere else like watch Gene of AI, so that's kind of interesting if you want to find something that's kind of gone under the radar.
Okay. I think this was this was a show that I thought was interesting. I didn't PTW it, but I thought maybe this will be good. So that's cool.
Yeah, the latest episode had this section with like a toy like and a robot which is like a companion robot, and the companion robot is actually just a regular robot, not a humanoid, which actually has like a heart or like emotions, but the toy is the one that seems more human. So it was kind of like an interesting dynamic where the kid was trying to figure out if the toy could be considered like a real person or close to a real person, or the actual like companion robot which looked like a real person was the one that was closer to being just a regular product. So I like that like contrast that they formed with it. And the main character is just like this doctor who goes through like different cases of like robots and humanoids, and he tries to help them. So I just think it's like a cool show where if you like dystopian scenarios with like robots and technology, and you like that exploration of like the morality of it all, then you'll probably enjoy it.
Okay. Very
Sounds
interesting.
good.
Yeah, it does sound good. All right, I think that's every anime that exists this season, and those are the. I don't know. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say.
Those are the X number of ships.
End of episode. Bye. Nah.
Let's go.
Thank. Sorry, my brain's fried right now. All right. Thank you all for joining me on this episode. Thank you guys for joining like last minute, literally like no plan whatsoever, and thanks for allowing me to be so obnoxious on this one and not like leaving and just being like, wow, this guy sucks at doing podcasts. What a loser. I appreciate that, even if you think it.
It was fun. I was glad to be on for the first time. I'll be happy to be back for any future ep that I may be relevant for.
Yeah.
glad to-
Absolutely. It was
Yep,
great
same
having
here.
you. It was great having you all. Jake, I especially
Cheers.
loved the little ambience you had whenever you were talking, just like the nice little nature filter below your
Yep,
voice.
going. It was what is it? We was on a paddle boat with a buddy of mine, and we ended up catching some short fin bass through the rest of it, and it was just kind of like, oh, can I even make this work? And I even like put this in so the audio texture isn't just completely shredding any sense of myself for the rest of the podcast. So I'm kind of glad that at the very least I was able to find some serenity on the deck, and hopefully the audio texture wasn't too bad for the rest of you.
Most of what you just said sounded like you were getting swallowed and chewed up by a bear, so that's cool, but otherwise it was fine.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I really hate how like the whole time it was fine, and then you start talking about how it was fine, and then it wasn't fine anymore.
The moment it was acknowledged. Block,
What?
how you doing?
Good. Man.
Okay. Glad to hear it. And everyone in chat, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening. Anybody who's listening to or watching the VOD, thanks a bunch. Really appreciate ya. We'll get back to doing episodes soon. I'm going to be making content on my channel, and that's going to fix all the problems in my life. So this is where we tore everything down. Everybody in the podcast is dead except for me, but we can only go up from here. So stick around, and I'll see all of you fucking weirdos later.
Later, nerds.
Cheers.
Peace.
Later.